98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray with you tonight until 11 o'clock. And oh, can you feel it? Woo! Can you feel it? Can you smell the grass? Football season, everybody. And tonight we get the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens tonight. We get a look at first-round pick Xavier Worthy, who the Chiefs traded up for to be their next speedster. The Ravens get Derrick Henry and a new defensive coordinator. And by the way, they lost the AFC Championship game to the Chiefs. And when Lamar Jackson's an underdog, you don't want to bet against him. But let's not forget who's on the other side at quarterback, and it's Patrick Mahomes. We'll certainly get into a ton of that. Skaz is here tonight as well. We're going to break down, do some predictions, a little different than what we did last night. We did our week one bets and predictions with Dan Lifshat, so you can go check that out. That's up over at 985thesportshub.com. So if you're wondering who to bet this week or who we chose tonight, you can certainly listen to that at 985thesportshub.com. I like to look at what's going on in other places and relate it to what's going on here in New England. And that's exactly where I wanted to start tonight. But first, the phone number here, if you want to call in, 617-779-0985. I have bets for tonight. I have 3 rushing props I'm going to give out on the show at 7:55 tonight. I also have a pick on a winner for tonight's game. Maybe Skaz has something as well. Maybe you guys have something. Feel free to call in on that. Also, we are on YouTube tonight. And it's real easy to do if you're at home. I like to use the remote and hit 98.5 The Sports Hub, YouTube. And then, boom, TV goes right to it. That's how I do it every single night. And you can join the chat. Last night we were strong, over 125 people strong. We're not like the morning show with 600 yet, but we're working on it and we're getting there. But let's start with tonight's game and related to the Patriots. Opening night of the NFL, 2 teams on display that have arguably the 2 best quarterbacks in the league. Arguably, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, no doubt about it. But who's the MVP of the league? Who's next in line? Or who's the guy that's been literally stopped at the gate, whether it's been health issues, whether it's been the team? It's been Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's an elite athlete. It's still a question if he's a great quarterback, but the damn good football player. And I'm sure you know the Patrick Mahomes numbers regarding his career. AFC Championship loss in overtime to the Patriots. Super Bowl win over San Fran. Super Bowl loss to Tom Brady. AFC Championship game loss to Cincinnati. He was injured. And now they've won back-to-back Super Bowls. You know the story on Patrick Mahomes. But Lamar Jackson, he's hoping to get to the Super Bowl. Bounced by the Chiefs last season. They've added around Lamar Jackson this year. Certainly racks up the stats and the MVP awards, but he's motivated. He even said today if he was healthy last in the playoffs, they would have won. And I think he could have something to say about the Chiefs going for the three-peat. I think Lamar Jackson stands in the way of the Chiefs winning 3 in a row. But I wanted to compare these teams to the Patriots, and it's hard to do, I know. But let's look at some of the scenarios here when it comes to the Ravens and Chiefs. Both are very well coached. Harbaugh, Reed, potentially top 5 in the league, right? Here's another thing I wanted to just relate to the Patriots. Did you know that both John Harbaugh and Andy Reid never called plays and were never coordinators before they became head coaches? Harbaugh worked on special teams while Reid was really an offensive assistant. He became a head coach, obviously got fired, and then now is with the Chiefs when he was with the Eagles. But when they got hired, they never were coordinators, which is very, very similar to Gerard Mayo. They've both drafted quarterbacks who originally sat after being drafted in the first round. Mahomes sat, Lamar Jackson sat behind Joe Flacco. The Ravens have always been considered a good defensive team. When you look at the Chiefs, Spagnuolo is responsible for some of the greatest defensive performances of all time, going back to the Giants game, and literally just what he's done in Super Bowls. The Patriots should still have defensive schemes that have kept them in games over the years from Bill Belichick. Both the Ravens and the Chiefs have great tight ends. Right? Andrews on one side, Travis Kelce is going to go to the Hall of Fame. And they can run the ball no matter who is back there. The Chiefs have had multiple different guys. They put up big numbers. They can draft guys in the 7th round and put up big numbers. Where the Ravens can do it too. Now, they need a bell horse every once in a while, or a bell cow, but Derrick Henry now comes in. That's another dimension for this team. Also, let's look at the offensive lines of the two teams. The Ravens have 2 first-round picks on their offensive line. They drafted Rosengarten this year in the 2nd round early. If you look at the Chiefs, they make trades and spend money when it comes to their line. They acquired Joe Thuney, free agency, Juwan Taylor as well. They've drafted linemen in the 2nd round through the 6th round. Their center is Creed Humphrey from Alabama, drafted in the 2nd round. And this year they took Kingsley Suamataia, who the Patriots were interested in that tackle. He's going to start tonight. But the rest of their line is 3rd to 6th round picks. If you remember, they traded a 2nd round pick for Orlando Brown when they won a Super Bowl. Patriots don't have that. As for weapons, we already mentioned the tight ends. But the Ravens drafted Hollywood Brown. They missed on him. Now they got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, 2 first-round picks. The Chiefs, as we mentioned, got Worthy this year in the 1st round. Riche Rice in the 2nd round. Tyreek Hill was a hit years ago. They win with cast-off wide receivers. But it's where they use in the draft when it comes to receiver. Draft with the line. The Patriots don't have linemen. They don't have playmakers. They need their quarterback to hit. It's a long road for the Patriots to be the Ravens or the Chiefs. I mean, look at the Packers and Eagles tomorrow night. They can try to be the Packers all they want. They could have used the Eagles' blueprint and didn't. The Patriots are at the bottom of the league watching teams they used to beat repeatedly. Now they may watch Kansas City go to a 3-peat. The Patriots hopefully have the quarterback. They don't have the line. They don't have the playmakers. But if you look at something that the Ravens and Chiefs do have, offensive line, weapons, and quarterbacks, right now the Patriots might not have any. Might not have any. We'll leave it off there. Your thoughts on that at 617-779-0985. Again, we're on YouTube tonight as well. Skaz is here. I do want to get into Elliot Wolf, a nice article by Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald. Just had a chance to sit down with Elliot Wolf. We'll give you some of the quotes on there as well. And Skaz and I have our season predictions. AFC, NFC, Super Bowl matchups, MVP, Coach of the Year, all that on the table tonight. And again, 7:55. I got your Chiefs, Ravens predictions and prop bets for tonight. So again, the phone number is 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's
All right, back here 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Skaz is here tonight. We're going to go over our yearly picks. Taylor Swift has arrived at Arrowhead Stadium wearing a jean get-up and big boots. Red boots for those that care about that thing. But she's there tonight. And we're going to be here with you on 98.5 The Sports Hub, 617-779-0985. Patriots and Ravens. Foes to the former Tom Brady New England Patriots. Ravens would always give the Patriots some fits, but in the end, it was always the Pats at times. Same thing with the Chiefs. Mahomes lost to Tom Brady. Lost to him in the Super Bowl as well when he was in Tampa Bay. And now they're on top and the Patriots are on the bottom. It's been it's going to be a long journey. But just look at the simple things. Linemen, playmakers, coaching, quarterback. Sounds easy, right? It sounds real easy. Well, speaking of the Patriots, Elliott Wolf, now the architect. Patriots Executive Vice President of Player Personnel, reiterated his belief in a roster he's overhauled by more than 40% since taking over last winter. And the Patriots remain saddled with one of the most questioned offenses in the NFL this year. And it's a very familiar sore spot for the franchise as it continues to struggle to score points. But Wolf, he believes the offense will ultimately swim and not sink, and wants to see his team hit the water first. And I just look at that and say, all right, well, let's see what they have first. I don't have a lot of expectations, but let's see. But here's a quote from Elliott Wolf. I think it's hard to talk about living up to expectations before we play the games, which I just said. We don't know how it's going to settle. We've had a lot of moving pieces on the offensive line. We had a lot of moving pieces at receiver. We're trying guys at different positions, different groups. We feel good about the groups that we've assembled. We'll see how it goes. When I hear a quote like that, they don't know yet. They like who they have. They want to try different guys out. They'll see if it works or not. But let me just ask you a question. How many times does that work? All right, let's try these guys. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll move this guy here. It doesn't. Maybe it hits. I don't know. Maybe it does hit. But when I hear a quote like that, it means they're piecing something together. And how does it go directly tied to the offensive line? Wolf chose to bolster the two waiver claims last week, Zachary Thomas and DeMontre Jacobs. He went on to say that they're young ascending players that they want to look at. Another thing about Elliott Wolf, when talking about the draft this year, they retained all 8 members of the first draft class on cutdown day. And some of the day 3 picks had some shaky performances, like Del Pettis. Patriots coaching staff will now prioritize snaps for young players like them, a pillar of the roster building philosophy Wolf learned in Green Bay and has installed in New England. So here we go. The Wolf Pack. This is what the Pats are. The organization's guiding principle will be draft and develop a rebuilding plan that can take years to successfully execute. So literally, he has said he's going to develop players and has told you it's going to take years, while the owner has told you already he doesn't care about the win-loss record. Quote by Wolf, I would expect this year we'll be getting younger as the year goes along, as opposed to the other direction, whether that means through attrition or injury or whatever. I think everyone knows we're trying to win now, obviously. Sorry. I think everyone knows we're trying to win now. Okay. He wrote obviously. But there is an eye for the future and developing the core of players that we maybe haven't had the last couple of years. Yeah, you haven't had a core in the last couple of years. Fine. You're trying to develop a core of what you have. Fine. Rookie quarterback Drake May will embody that core. Gerard Mayo named Jacoby Brissett the Week 1 starter even after May made a late push for the job by outperforming Brissett over the last 2 weeks of summer. Conversations were shared between Wolf, Mayo, and offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt that led to Brissett's coronation. As expected, decision after he took more than 98% of the first-team snap reps in training camp. Wolf gave further insight to that decision. Quote, one thing with the quarterback position specifically is we've seen Jacoby do it. We've seen him excel in this offense. I think his best year in the league was in this offense when he was in Cleveland. And so there's just more of a known quantity there and what we'll have with him and what we feel like gives us the best chance to win here early in the season. I could look up the numbers, and I could tell you right now that his Jacoby Brissett's best season was with the Colts, not Cleveland. The next big decision facing this leadership group will be when to start Drake May. Wolf admitted long-term considerations factored into the team's decision to delay his debut. So there we go. We got it. Drake May's not playing because they're looking for the long-term, not the short-term. We got it. But what was this whole competition thing? It's going to depend how the team's doing, of course, but if Jacoby's lighting it up, chances are Drake May getting in there will be lessened, and I think that's the best-case scenario for the Patriots this year. But worst thing could be put the guy in before he's ready, and then you have to take him out. And whether that's him or somebody in another position for a younger player not to be ready and to put in that position, it can be counterproductive to their career. So, best case scenario for the Patriots, Brissett's your quarterback all year long. Worst case, he has to play, and it's not good. But, I don't know, maybe he'll play and impress. I also asked if an injury arose, Drake would then be the backup quarterback, and it would be thrust straight in. They have the confidence in him to do that, said Wolf. It's not like we're just going to let him collect dust for a year. He's going to be out there in practice taking reps. He's going to take some reps with the starters. He's going to take some reps on the scout team and continue to progress and develop in that regard. He also followed up to the point of a veteran quarterback. Jacoby has been pretty durable throughout his career, and they expect that to continue, even though he got hurt in the preseason game. We've talked about different things in building every position. There's more from Elliot Wolf we'll read throughout the night. He also mentioned something about tanking that I think is worth bringing up. But let's talk to Josh. He's in the car. What's going on, Josh? You're on the Sports Hub.
Hey, brother. How are you? Exciting night, man. We've been waiting for this for what, five months to get it kicked off. So I got 2 points here. So point A is I don't necessarily blame right now Elliot Wolf or Mayo or any of these guys and stuff. Listen, Belichick 5-6 years ago, the last 5 or 6 drafts have pretty much been atrocious, right? And that's what's set them really far back. So, look, it's going to take it realistically. Yes, it's going to take a couple of years for them to kind of get out of the muck here, and that's okay. I mean, look, every franchise has gone through this, but that leads me to my second point here is, if you look at like a team like Kansas City, so they built a dynasty, but look when Andy Reid got there. I don't know if you remember what the first pick Andy Reid made when he became head coach. He drafted Eric Fisher in the first round. It was like a top 10 pick, and everybody was scratching their head saying, what the heck is he doing? What does this guy know? What is he doing? Well, guess what? He was establishing their offensive line so that they could have a great running game and then draft out of that and tailor the offense. I'm kind of hoping that this is the direction the Pats are going to go in as well, too. But, again, let's give him a little bit of time. Appreciate you taking my call.
All right, man. Yeah, and listen, they might have their quarterback. They might. The line and playmakers, though, it's going to take some time. Also, they don't know if they have the coach yet. So we could talk about that Eric Fisher pick, but the guy who is making it, I think he knows a little something about foosball. Skaz, what do you think about these two teams, man? I know you're getting ready for your bets that we got coming up in just a little bit, but I was just trying to compare these two teams to the Pats. And really, when it comes down to it, and we could talk about the Bengals, too, because if you think about it, the Bengals spend where? Line, quarterback, playmakers. Well, look at these two teams. It's just, I'm not saying follow the blueprint, but it's the reason why the teams are in the Super Bowl conversation every year.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the Chiefs, identified Mahomes, got him in the first round, traded up for him. And I don't want to say Lamar Jackson fell into the Ravens' lap, but he kind of did, and that's how they got their franchise QB with a pretty solid roster. So little bit different on how they got there. But yeah, you're looking at two teams that draft well, keep their guys, occasionally get a big free agent. Derrick Henry, I don't like at 29 years old. I don't know if he's going to be the Derrick Henry we all remember, but takes a little bit of the load off Lamar in the red zone. So yeah, it's just you're going to watch the Chiefs and the Ravens tonight, and then watching the Patriots on Sunday. It maybe because of the weather, it won't feel like two different sports, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a wake-up call how far the Patriots have to go to be with these teams.
Can I give you another one? How about star power?
Yeah, just notoriety. Just having somebody to market.
Like the Chiefs have Mahomes, Kelsey, they can have Reed if you want to put him on. Harrison Butker is a very controversial figure as well. Like, they're Chris Jones. Like, they have a lot. But the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, I mean, the Zay Flowers is now... Andrews,
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's a big, big one. But, John Harbaugh. All these teams have won championships. Even the Bengals I'm throwing, who are in the same conference and division, as the Ravens. But yeah, watching on Sunday, you're going to see these two teams. Then tomorrow night in Brazil, you're going to see those two teams. And then you're going to see the Bengals. You're going to be like, whoa. It's going to be a long road. All right, we got our picks. We're going to do AFC, NFC, Super Bowl, Coach of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. You name it. We're doing it all next. And I get 7:55, everybody. I got 3 props, 1 pick on the game, and I got a lean on a total. How about that? All right, we'll do the headlines here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Chiefs and Ravens tonight on Thursday Night Football. Chiefs right now 3-point favorites. The total is 47 for the game. And, of course, Noah Gray got an extension before the game. He is the backup tight end. Patriots and Bengals play on Sunday. The injury report is out. City So did.
Around here, we call them the Joe Murray Pre-Party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. James Scaramazino is here, everybody. You know him as Scaz with 1Z. We got a game tonight. We'll tell you what those lines are, but let's pull up some futures. You got to get these things in before the year starts, of course. And I was curious where you were at, Scaz. Obviously, there's some stuff on division winners, and, actually, we could have some fun with that real quick. Do you have a winner in the North, AFC North? Because mine's the Ravens.
Yeah, mine's the Ravens as well.
And then in the West, did you know the Chiefs have won like 9 in a row or 8 in a row, whatever it is? They're minus 260.
Not a lot of competition out there.
NFC West, probably the 49ers.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the popular pick. I think the Rams are going to be better than people think this year, but I don't see them winning the division.
Eagles are the minus 125. They're the favorite. They could be back-to-back.
Cowboys
last year. Cowboys are 170 if you like them. Falcons are minus 130. Could the Bucks at 320 be juicy?
I do think the Bucks are going to be frisky this year, I guess you could say, but I think Atlanta's roster is better.
NFC North, Lions, Packers. Packers 230. Lions the favorite at plus 130, and then the Bears hanging in there at plus 280.
No, give me the Lions. They play, I think I saw 14 indoor games this year.
Oof.
The Lions, 14 indoor games, so yeah.
Help them. And then the AFC South, Texans, you can get them at plus money right now, plus 105.
I'm on the Jags, Joe. I like the Jags. I think the Jags win that division.
And finally, AFC East. Jets are your favorites at plus 165, followed by Buffalo at 195 and the Dolphins at 205. Patriots come in plus 2,500.
Give me the Bills, Joe. The Buffalo Bills.
I'm taking the Miami Dolphins.
So we're both out on the Jets.
We are both out on the Jets. So just continuing to look at futures. Who do you like in the AFC? Just to give you some odds, Chiefs plus 300, Ravens 550, Bengals are 700, Bills are 800, Texans 850, Jets 1,000, Dolphins 1,100.
Yeah, in the AFC, may have hinted at it earlier with our Ravens pick, but I have the Ravens coming out of the AFC. I think they're the best team in the AFC. I like Harbaugh a lot. I think he's one of the top 3 to 5 coaches in the league every year. Defense is loaded. Derrick Henry on the goal line. Mark Andrews is healthy. Zay Flowers. I like Rashad Bateman a lot, too, as a secondary scoring guy for them. So, yeah, I'm in on the Ravens this year.
Plus 550, I am as well. In the NFC, 49ers plus 250. Lions are 550. Eagles 600. Cowboys 700. Packers 750. Falcons 1,300. I'm curious to know who you have.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth in the NFC. I like the Eagles a lot, but I'm not a Nick Sirianni guy. I can't get behind a Nick Sirianni team to win the NFC. So I'm doing it, Joe. I'm going with the Lions. I think Detroit's loaded. Like I said, 14 games indoors this year. I just think that's huge for Goff and that offense. They're as explosive as anybody with Amon-Ra, Gibbs if he's healthy. Even David Montgomery's good. Sam Laporta coming back, hopefully healthy. Yeah, I think I like the Lions a lot this year. Maybe that's a little square, as you would say, Joe, but I'm in on the Lions.
I have the LA Rams plus 1,500.
I just said I think the Rams are going to be pretty solid this year, so I can't hate on that. I think Stafford, I think Kupp's in for a big year. Everyone's talking about Puka Nacua, but I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a monster year this year.
Yep. So what was yours? Ravens what?
Ravens Lions.
So Ravens Lions plus 3,500. You can do it right now.
Don't hate that.
Woohoo! Very, very interesting here. Do you have any thoughts on the MVP?
Yeah, MVP this year, I have Josh Allen. We mentioned it a little bit with Dan last night. I think losing Stephon Diggs will help Josh Allen. I think he'll have to spread the field more. He's got to make better decisions. The Bills need him to be, a top 3 quarterback in the league. He's in a tough division, excusing the Patriots, but with Rodgers and Tua, I think the AFC East is going to be tough to see who comes out of it. But yeah, I have MVP Josh Allen this year. I just think he's a monster. He's coming into his prime. He's in his prime. That roster's good, not great. So I think he's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So for me, it's a Josh Allen year. I thought about Mahomes, thought about Lamar, but I think Josh Allen has a real shot to be the MVP this year.
Patrick Mahomes is the favorite at plus 475. CJ Stroud's in there at 800. Josh Allen's 900. So there's your number there. Burrow is 950. I have Jalen Hurts plus 1,200 to win the MVP. Yeah.
I like that. It's just the Sirianni thing. That's the only thing that scares me about the Eagles.
I almost went Lamar again at plus 2,000. I almost went Tua as well.
And Jalen Hurts on the road. I think, you guys talked about it last night. He struggles a little bit on the road. That's the only thing that gives me pause.
Yep. So so that's your MVP. Rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the year. Caleb Williams is going to be the favorite, of course, plus 135. Jaden Daniels is in there. Marvin Harrison Jr., big number, 650. Bo Nix plus 1,000.
So I've actually already placed a wager on this. I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr. plus 650. I think it's a good number. I think if you shop around, you might be able to find a little bit of a better number. But yeah, I'm all in on Marvin Harrison Jr. to win Rookie of the Year.
I got Bo Nix plus 1,000.
I think he's in for a rude awakening in Seattle this weekend. But I'm just not a Sean Payton guy.
Drake May is plus 2,000 for those that care. Also, Jalen Polk plus 10,000. Is there any other rookies in there with the pads? Joe Milton plus 150,000. Defensive rookie of the year. I know it's kind of square, but I like the kid Latu from plus 400.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a popular pick.
But I'm going to go Dallas Turner plus 450 because I think he was the best pass rusher in the league. And then offensive player of the year isn't necessarily your MVP. Tyreek Hill won it last year. He's the favorite again at plus 700. This one's a little out left field for me, but I really like Breece Hall.
That's Bijan Robinson, like one of those guys.
Yeah, Bijan's plus 1,800.
Yeah, you had that rookie defensive player. Do you have that up?
Yeah.
Where is Junior Colson on that list?
Plus 3,500.
He's a guy, Michigan linebacker, drafted by a Harbaugh. I think he's going to play a lot, and they're going to need him. So just a name to think about.
I like that. But yeah, I Breece Hall I think is going to do a lot if he can stay healthy. Amon-Ra St. Brown's another guy. You mentioned if they're playing indoors and put up big numbers. I'm just looking for someone that's going to put up a lot of numbers but might not be the MVP.
Yeah.
There's always Christian McCaffrey, too, at plus 850 in there. And then defensive player of the year, TJ Watt normally is the guy, plus 550. He's the favorite, along with Micah Parsons. I'm a Max Crosby guy. Give me Max Crosby plus 700.
I like Max Crosby a lot, but I'd have to go with Watt. I just think he's a monster.
Coach of the year.
All right, Joe. I got for Coach of the Years. I took a little time to think about this one, but Coach of the Year, he's a rookie head coach, Joe, and it's not Gerard Mayo. I'm going with Raheem Morris. I think that's a weak division, and if the Falcons do end up winning that division, like you said, they are favorites to win that division. Still think the Bucs are going to be better than people think, but if the Falcons can find a way to win that division with a rookie head coach, I think it would be tough to not give Raheem Morris Coach of the Year.
So I have two. Zach Taylor of the Bengals plus 2,500. And I think Sean Payton's worth a look at plus 2,000.
The Sean Payton Reclamation Project.
Comeback player of the year, the favorite's Aaron Rodgers.
I think everyone is going to be betting on Rodgers to win that. One name that did kind of interest me a little bit, Sam Darnold.
That was the number I was looking at, plus 1,200.
Yeah. If you're late, I'm not, obviously not, I don't think anybody's a huge Sam Darnold fan anymore, but it's going to be a starting quarterback. And, didn't Joe Flacco just win comeback player of the year?
Yeah. So I like Kyler Murray at the number plus 2,000.
It's a good number.
Look at Deshaun Watson at plus 4,000.
I saw him as well, but
That's a big number.
I don't think he's. I don't think they're
4,000.
giving him that award. You know.
No, I
don't think he's winning that award.
Yeah, not good. Anybody else? Is that it for the? Did we do everything?
I think that's just about it, Joe.
Who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
I got the Ravens, Joe. Ravens over the Lions. I'm sorry, Hardy. Sorry, Fred.
Me too.
You have the Ravens as well?
I have the Ravens winning the Super Bowl as well.
We're a big Ravens show, apparently.
Jeez, what do I like tonight? Should I even tell people?
Yeah.
And there is a exacta if you like that. And it could be MVP and Super Bowl winner. So let me just find the Baltimore and Lamar Jackson to win the Super Bowl and him be MVP plus 5,000.
There's a juicy one for you. Looking to throw out a lottery ticket.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Picks. They're in. I got picks for tonight's guess. I don't know if you got something, but I got 3 props and 1 for the game. Let's do that. Coming up next as we're approaching kickoff. Opening night in the NFL. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
So, about to post these as well. So I'm doing a little multitasking as we speak. So here we go tonight. Where should I start? Where should I start tonight? How about when it comes to tonight's game, I have 3 picks for you when it comes to rushing props. The first one I will do tonight is Derrick Henry over 15.5 carries. Last year, he averaged 16.5 carries per game. His career high, 22.5. The total is 1 carry off of what he did a year ago. And I think he gets an increased workload, at least against the Chiefs. And let me just tell you, in 4 games against the Chiefs, he has absolutely raked against them. They can't stop him, bro. Give me over 15.5 carries tonight for Derrick Henry. Ring the bell. Here's another one for you for tonight. Player prop, rushing. Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco last year, in the final 4 games of the year, the Chiefs really relied on their running game. Pacheco had 5 touchdowns in the final 4 games. And I'll say this. I think he hits pay dirt tonight. So it was even money. I think some money's come in on it. I'll do it at minus 105. It's almost an even bet. Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown tonight, minus 105. Ring it! I got one more rushing touchdown for you. I like the number on it. It's Lamar Jackson. And there's a lot I can talk about when it comes to Lamar Jackson, and especially as a bettor. Number one, he owns first halves. He gets out to fast starts. He uses his legs. They like to get out to leads and lean on their running game and defense. I have Lamar Jackson, anytime rushing touchdown tonight, plus 225. Ring it! So there's 3 rushing props for you tonight. When it comes to the game, a few interesting trends I think that need to be considered. Number one, Lamar Jackson has never lost as an underdog. He's covered. I should say that. He's covered every game he's been an underdog. They're 3-point underdogs tonight. The Chiefs are favored. They're without Hollywood Brown. They're banged up a little bit. Here's another number for you. Teams that win the championship and play on opening night, since it started, 10-7-1. So there's a little bit of a, you win the Super Bowl, you win on opening night, but they don't always cover, Skaz.
We have a little bit of breaking news, Joe.
Whoa!
Around the game. I don't think it's sounder worthy, but Adam Schefter 20 seconds ago, kickoff for tonight's Ravens-Chiefs game has now been delayed until 8:40 p.m. due to weather.
Oh, that upsets me. Here I am doing this big bit.
Talk about a tease.
Give me the Ravens plus 3 tonight. Ring the bell. I'd like to bet on money line. I'm not going to because it's Patrick Mahomes we're talking about here. I think the Ravens pay back tonight. And I don't know what it is. Skaz and I love the Ravens this year. We're going to be following Ravens games all year long. Just to give you their roster a little bit, I mentioned their line between Lindenbaum, and Ronnie Staley. Those are first-round picks. Like, they're loaded with first-round picks on their roster. I think their running game is strong with Henry and Justice Hill. John Kelly's going to get a look. Patrick Ricard plays all over. They're going to get 2 tight end looks with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. Like, I think they're going to run the ball and try to protect it tonight. And I think Nelson Aguilar, I know you laugh about him, but he actually made a little bit of an impact for them last year. But their defense, there are some question marks for them. Like Kyle Van Noy's still there. You probably know some of these names. Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton might be one of the best safeties in football this year. And they get Marcus Williams from the Saints. I really like the Ravens. I like them tonight. Why the 3? And here's another thing, Skaz. You just mentioned the weather alert, right? What would you think weather would favor? A passing team or a running team?
I would say running team, Joe.
I wonder if Zappy's activated tonight. Only
You just can't
8
quit
o'clock
him.
exactly.
You can't quit him.
You can't quit Zappy. I can't quit you, baby.
I can quit him. I quit him. I'm done. Cut ties. See you later.
For real, though, I'm curious if he really is activated. Like, is he the emergency core? I actually am curious. Oh, yeah, they already did the actives, right? Well, we'll look at if Zappy's activated tonight. That's another Patriots angle here. They go to Carson Wentz or Zappy. By the way, I will always root for Tucker over the kicker for the Chiefs. I don't like that guy. Sorry. I apologize. I'm not sorry, Harrison Bucker. All right, we'll get a look at the headlines here. Kickoff's been pushed back to 8:40. I'll tell you that in headlines right now.
From the Town's Fair Tire Studios, the Patriots.
Into the end zone!
Here.
Touchdown for the Patriots! Score!
WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, NFL kicks off tonight. Ravens and Chiefs. Chiefs right now 3-point favorites. The total is at 47. I actually never asked Skaz what he has, so now we have another 39 minutes to talk about this. What else is going on in the NFL? Well, Patriots and Bengals getting ready for Sunday's game. The injury report is out. City So did not practice. Some other players limited. Jonathan Jones added to that list today as well. Jamar Chase on the list, but not listed as an injury. And the Red Sox are off tonight. They play the White Sox tomorrow, who really stink. I'm Joe Murray. No headline.
You want to talk sports? We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
All right, back here in 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here as well. We're like ready for football, and they're pushing it back on us. We will talk to Mike Kadlick coming up in a little bit, CLNS. By the way, the commish who called last night, that's his cousin. It's like a family affair.
Small world on the Joe Show.
And we all go to Hooters. As Chris would say, Hooters. He texted me about that this morning. I thought it was funny. We're back here tonight, guys. I haven't even looked. What is going on in the chat tonight? You can join us on a live chat. The show is videotaped. We're on camera. Let's see who's in there. Ryan and Malden's in there. Skaz, who you got? That's one of his questions. Who you got tonight, Skaz?
I got the Ravens +3. I've been listening to Joe. I've been listening to Joe and Dan the last 24 hours. I'm on the Ravens. And the weather makes me feel even better about it. I was on the Ravens before I knew what the weather was. Probably should have done a little research. But, yeah, all in on the Ravens. I think they're just Lamar Jackson early in the season. Like you and Dan mentioned last night, he's a monster. Harbaugh have his guys ready to go. Teams coming off a Super Bowl. I just think it's lining up for Ravens +3 tonight. I didn't bet a money line, but I like the Ravens +3. 2.5 makes me a little nervous, but I like the Ravens +3.
What do you think about this total? It's 47. Generally, when I see all right, so here's how. I know. Here I am. I'm doing this for the listener and not for you, Skaz. If you see a low total, well, like let's call it 41. 4 and a 1 means low scoring game. 4 and a 7 means they expect points. Last year in a playoff game, it was 17-10. So you came up a little short there. Would you say offenses are ahead of the defense? I don't know where you're at this point. I don't know. I don't know that. But when I see a number open at 47, I immediately think points. That's what I think. I'm laying off the total, especially with the weather here. I wonder if it moves. I'm on DraftKings right now. Let's see if we've had any movement here. I mean, I don't know how much the weather will impact the game. It's not like 46 now. Chiefs are 2.5. We're moving lines, Skaz. We're moving lines. All right, we'll have more on this coming up in a bit. We'll talk to Mike Kadlick coming up on the other side as well, and then it will be kickoff time. But wrote an article because we talked about this last night, guys. Is there too much Bill Belichick? Is there too much? And I wrote this at 985thesportshub.com, but if you can't find it, just follow me on Twitter at Joey Murr, JoeyMurr. Bill Belichick will not be on the sideline this season, but you know where you can find him? Everywhere. I at least thought he'd be like going to Nantucket or hanging out with his kid Steve in Washington, get away from the game for a bit. I mean, he was at Tom Brady's roast. He got literally portrayed poorly at the Apple documentary Dynasty. He's going to be working with Peyton Manning. He's going to be doing that Let's Go podcast. He's doing Underdog podcast, getting Matt Patricia a job. Bill can be found on social media now on InstaFace. Belichick's living his best life right now. He's also looking to rehabilitate his image. Even if he wants to coach in 2025 or just still wants to be around the game. As for too much Belichick, the Patriots are projected to be at the bottom of the league this year. It will be a constant reminder of what was with him on television. And let's not forget, Brady calling games this season will be a bittersweet reminder of what once was. As for Belichick's future, he's clearly still a rock star in New England and in the game of football. This season will dictate if he's in our face too much or a constant reminder of why the Patriots are in the place that they're at. Only time will tell. But you're either going to miss him or you've had enough of him at some point this season. So, Skaz, we brought it up last night. I put a few things in the article there. Not sure if you thought about it a little bit more, but last night you were like, Bill's doing too much. He's just doing too much.
Yeah, I still feel that way. I love Bill Belichick, Joe. I'm a Patriots fan. I want to remember Bill Belichick as the greatest football coach of all time. I don't want to remember Bill Belichick as a 72-year-old who's, taking every job that's offered to him and making sure his face stays out there so people don't forget about him. I'm perfectly fine with him, doing the Monday Night Football thing with the Mannings and inside the NFL, whatever. But I just feel like it's a little oversaturated. It just feels like too much. To me, it just doesn't feel necessary. It feels like he's almost overextending himself, and I can't figure out why.
Does he have a PR team?
Why does he feel the need to do a show with Matt Patricia? Why?
Job.
Yeah, to get his buddy a job.
That's why. I got nothing else for you, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my problem. Is that why are you doing this? You're better than this. Bill Belichick is better than me. He's better than me. He's better than the media.
Hey, Joe, you're better than you, Joe.
So it's just I don't want to I think Brady doing the games is one thing. That's his job. He's doing that, a weekly one game thing. I'm fine with that. A lot of retired guys do that. It just feels like too much, Bill. It's just too much.
So, do you think at some point people are going to get sick of him? Because if the team stinks, that's where I'm going with it.
I mean, people got sick of the Patriots, right? Everyone was sick of the Patriots. Kind of like how people are starting to get sick of the Chiefs. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that people say, why am I watching Bill Belichick 4 days a week, 5 days a week? It's too much Bill.
It's a lot of Bill.
It's a lot of Bill.
All Bill all the time. What about Brady? Like, you're going to get Belichick, you're going to get Brady.
Brady's once a week, though, and he's like one game. So, like, if he's not calling your team's game and you're not, flipping around or watching the 425 game that week or whatever, you're not going to get Brady. Bill's going to be everywhere. It's almost going to be hard to miss the guy. McAfee, the Manning thing, inside the NFL, like, he's everywhere.
Will Bill, in your face, bother you as a Patriots fan? Because I got to tell you, I'm rooting for Bill a little bit. I think he can still coach. I don't care about the wins record. I don't care about the wins record. But I care about the best coach of all time. Winning without Brady. Winning without the Patriots. Winning it his way. I don't know if that's still a thing in this NFL. I don't. I really don't know. The game's changing, people. Like, it used to be if you had a corner and a pass rusher, you know, in a quarterback, you were ready to go. Now that's really changed, and here we are talking about it now. Offensive linemen and playmakers. Like, the running back is dead. The fullback is dead. The running back is dying. The tight ends are getting smaller. Like, you need to be fast and big. If you're small, you may not make it a full season. The game is completely changing before our eyes. I don't think the college game has hurt so much with the NIL stuff. Maybe it's hurt the quarterbacks for how you have to change the offenses now. I mean, the days of going under center, soon enough, I don't know if Mike Felger's going to watch anymore. Those days, going under center, just to help a quarterback because you need a jolt to your team? Like, the Patriots are doing it this year, and they're forcing it. We'll see how some other teams do. 617-779-0985. Well, Skaz, I'll give you credit for this because we talked about it last night, and I said I'd write an article on it, and I got buzz on this all day long on socials.
Beautiful.
And here they are on the call. So let's start with Derek. He's in Rhode Island. Hey, Derek.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Yes, so the thing is, if Bill Belichick could be on all these shows, okay, it's okay. Because Ryan Seacrest is on Wheel of Fortune. He's on American Idol. Bill Belichick could do a lot, too.
I don't understand what you mean.
Because...
Derek, my question is he doing too much? Like, he doesn't need to do radio shows and, digital media things.
Yes, because more power to him. He's the Ryan Seacrest of football. I have a cable show. I do podcasts myself, okay?
Oh, you do, Derek? Where do you do a podcast? What's your podcast?
Derek Shapiro Show. I'm on iHeartRadio. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Pandora.
Unfortunately, that's a competitor to us.
I don't want the greatest coach of all time to become Ryan Seacrest, Joe. I'm sorry if that upsets you.
No, don't apologize.
But I do not want Bill Belichick to become a caricature of himself and become some talking head or a talk show host. No, I'm out on Bill Seacrest. I'm out.
Me too. The Ryan Seacrest of football. Who is the Ryan? Oh, no, Joe Buck, Jim Grant. I mean, who is the Ryan Seacrest of football? That guy, Scott Hansen?
But even that, I know it's a full day, but it's...
Oh, Collinsworth.
It's one show.
Collinsworth's on a lot. He used to do inside the NFL.
Like Tirico. But, no, I wouldn't even... Because they're just doing, games.
There's Taylor Swift.
T-Swift
I got
in
to
the
tell
building.
you, she looks great.
She always does.
No,
Superstar.
She's not a sex appeal woman. And what I mean by that is,
careful, Joe.
No, what I mean, I know. What I mean by it is I respect her for her lyrics.
You're a fan.
I'm a fan of hers, but she looks great. So if anybody's hating
Hey,
on
I mean,
her,
it's opening night.
anyone's hating on her, they're just hating.
Just hating.
They're just hating.
I'm with you.
I'm putting her over, Skaz.
No, it's opening night. You got to dress to the nines.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Jim's in Burlington. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim, are you the Ryan Seacrest of radio callers? Come on, Jim. What's up? It's unfortunate, huh? Sad. That's sad. Bellicrest. Oh, Bellicrest. I love it, Jeff. Long-time listener, Jeff Beliveau. Out on Bellicrest. Joe, you're surprised that a guy who worked 18 plus hours a day for 40 years is now working as much as he can in football media. Have you met Bill Belichick? I've never met Bill Belichick before. Nope. Have you?
At a fundraiser, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even meet him at a fundraiser.
Just like a very brief, maybe a wave.
Oh, you waved.
Yeah, I don't think there was any conversation, really. We were in the same room.
I know we got Mike Kadlick coming up, but I got to hear this one. Tommy's in Newberry. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, guys. Love the show. Second-time caller. But the Ryan Seacrest of football, it's got to be Cliff Kingsbury, right?
I mean, he was a coach, and then...
He's a coach.
Oh, well, you guys weren't talking about coaches. I'm sorry. I thought everyone was in play for that. So.
You know what? Everyone is in place, but
we're talking. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, pretty boy kind of look. And
yeah, but Ryan Seacrest was a host and is a damn good producer. He produces all those Kardashians and reality television shows.
That's a solid point.
Like, who's a producer? Like, is he the Dr. Dre? Like, who's the Dr. Dre of NFL?
Yeah. That's a tough one. That is a tough.
Howie Sylvester.
Oh, why did that make me laugh so much? But like, who's a guy that?
The guy was doing it for 20 years.
I mean, John Madden was.
We may have gotten got by a.
I don't know yet. I don't know. We might
have to revisit that later.
We'll see how the night goes. We'll see how the night goes. But we received a photo. You know what? We got to talk to Mike Kadlick. But we received a photo that's in question regarding someone who's playing John Madden, Nicolas Cage, and what he looks like. What do you call it? Smash or pass or streetwalker or reel? One of those things. We'll talk to Mike Kadlick coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
Visit us online at Jackson.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. Oh, Joe Murray kickoff has been pushed back. Kevin Stumpy he texted me and tweeted at me, and I reshared it. So he sent a picture of Wheel of Fortune with Belichick, and I just imagine Bill doing Wheel of Fortune. God. The Bellicrest, the Ryan Seacrest of football. Mike Kadlick from CLNS. What do you think about Belichick? Do you think he's going to be in our face too much this football season?
Is he going to be in our face too much? It's going to be a lot. But it's funny. We actually, down in Foxborough today, we spoke with Brian Belichick and asked him about it. And he basically was like, well, my dad has been a busy man his whole life. He's obviously been super busy with, game weeks and up all night and doing everything every single day. And so it's normal for him to have a full workload like that. So while it may seem like a lot for us, he's really only doing like one or two things with each network. So he's going to have a full week of work, and it's going to feel normal to him. We're just going to have to see it every single day because, again, he has his face in just about everything. But I'm excited for it. Like, I'm interested to hear what he has to say. I was just scrolling Twitter before I came on, and there was a clip of him on Inside the NFL with Ryan Clark and Chris Long, that piece of it, and was basically talking about Caleb Williams. Like, yeah, I wasn't impressed with him. He wasn't that good this preseason. Like, his highlight plays weren't great. And I'm like, I'm excited for that, a little bit of unhinged Belichick for the entire football world to see.
Yeah, I just thought when someone said he's the Ryan Seacrest of the NFL, I died. Again, someone just sent the Wheel of Fortune photo. I don't know. So we'll end this in a minute here because they pushed kickoff back, so we get to hang out for a little bit here.
Thank God they did, Joe, because I was a little. Of course, I'm going to say yes to coming on your show. Like I know.
We could have just watched the game.
8:20 Thursday. Come on.
I know we could have just watched the game together, though.
Yeah. I could have came in studio and done a whole hour. We could watch the game with some pizza.
We should do that some night. What do you think of that?
I'm in.
Yeah, are you bringing the pizza though, or are we getting the pizza?
I'll come in.
No,
you know what?
We'll treat. Well, no lettuce though.
No lettuce. We'll do some standard stuff. No lettuce. But you guys treat for pizza. I'll come in for the hour. We'll do a football power hour with Joe and Kadlick.
We know a guy. All right, man. Well, let's just do tonight's game and then we'll get into the Pat stuff. But I was trying to compare these two teams to the Patriots where they're at. If you think about it, both of these teams drafted quarterbacks in the first round, and they sat. Mahomes obviously has been the best quarterback of all time in the first 6 years of his career, while Lamar Jackson's been great, MVP, and really Mahomes is in his way. I think Burrow's in his way too. But when you look at the two teams, really when it comes down to it, Mike, is the Chiefs have drafted well. They have they have weapons. They have a quarterback. And they spend on their offensive line. Same with the Ravens. Ravens also, draft guys. I just think there's a lot of similarities here, but the Patriots are 0 for 3 against these two teams.
I couldn't agree more as far as the similarity goes. You look at those teams again, first-round quarterback, sits for a little while, has a veteran in front of him that can help him out. Obviously, Lamar had Joe Flacco and Mahomes had Smith. And again, they're not world beaters, but they're guys who've been through it and kind of brought them along. And look, I think Jacoby Brissett's a step under that, but it's the same type of concept. And then the thing with these two teams now, right, is their rosters are really freaking good. You mentioned how they spend money. You mentioned how they drafted well. And when I was on the show last time with you, I was talking about how the Patriots are on the ground floor of this thing. And so that's kind of what their next step needs to be is, okay, you have your quarterback. Now, granted, they did it a different way because they had the rosters and then brought in the first-round quarterback on top of it. The Patriots, are in an opposite way where they have their quarterback. They just need to, build out the rest of the foundation. So, look, I still think we need to give it some time. I've said it to you before, but, man, it's thinking and covering the team. I was talking about it on one of our CLNS shows the other day with Taylor Kiles where, we're around the Patriots every day. And so we look at some of these guys, and we have high hopes for Jalen Polk, and we have high hopes for, John Jones and Marcus Jones, and we have high hopes for Osain Jimenez this year, guys like that. But then you look at the Chiefs and the Ravens, who are the cream of the crop, and it's Chris Jones, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, all these guys, Ronnie Stanley on the offensive line. The Patriots roster is just so depleted, and they don't have a ton of talent, and that needs to still be priority number one in order to, get this thing going in the right direction.
All right, man. Well, looking at the weekend here, Patriots, Bengals, I do think there's some soft spots that the Patriots offense can attack. I thought that last year the Bengals are one of the worst rushing defenses in football. Patriots want to run the ball. Stevenson, I thought Gibson was actually pretty good in between the tackles this preseason, but they're also soft when it comes to tight ends, and Hunter Henry should be ready to go. What are your thoughts on how the Patriots can attack the Bengals?
Yeah, I mean the way I look at it, and the way I'm frankly going to choose to look at the entire season is the Patriots aren't going to win many games, and there's a lot of work to do here. But on any given Sunday, a team can win a football game, and it's just true. And I'm not going to sit here and say the Patriots are going to win them all, but there's a way that they can do it. And I think the way you mentioned, or what you mentioned there, that run defense, or lack thereof on Cincinnati, is going to be the key. And the Patriots, Gerard Mayo, Alex Van Pelt have said it all along. They want to run the football. They're going to be a run-first team. So you have to establish the run, and you have to establish it early. Because if you don't, and establish the run sounds so cliche, but basically what I mean is you need to be able to run the football. You need to, get blocks on, and you need to be able to get 4 or 5 yards of chunks, sustain drives, and get in the end zone. And because if you don't get in the end zone and you're punting early and you're not chewing up clock, then you're going to give the football back to Joe Burrow, probably Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and they're just going to push it down your throat and score because that's just what those guys do. Even with the Patriots defense being what they are, I still think that ultimately the Bengals offense is a better unit overall. And so you need to be able to run the football. You need to be able to run the football as well, because when you do that, then that's going to set up your pass game and your play action, and it's going to have to be quick game, and it's going to have to be play action, because there's no shot in hell that the Patriots can go 10 or 11 personnel, spread them out, have Jacoby drop back, and make 4 or 5 reads in a progression. They just don't have the offensive line talent for it right now. Sidney So doesn't look like he's going to play. Vidarian Lowe's questionable, and even those guys, when they're out there, haven't been great. And so you're going a step below that. And so it's going to be the run game on offense. Defensively, again, I mentioned it a little bit with Burrow and Chase and Higgins, but the Bengals don't have a great running attack. They never really have. And the Patriots have had a good run defense too, especially last year. So they're going to have to take them out of it. And then in the pass game, it's depending on if Chase plays, that's going to be critical. But, you can do put Gonzalez, who I'm high on, put him on Higgins, double up Jamar Chase, and cross your fingers and pray what happens the rest of the way. The Bengals have started slow early on in these last couple seasons under Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor, so that's kind of where you get them too. Burrow's coming off an injury, Chase on a holdout. I think they can keep it close, and that's probably the best I'll give them.
Talk about Mike Kadlick, CLNS. What about Hubbard and Hendrickson? Who's playing tackle this week?
So those guys are studs, and Hendrickson is always going to come. He always comes off their right side, the Patriots' left side. So it's going to be him against the blind side. And as of right now, the blind side is the Patriots' worst side. They have a little bit of at least consistency on the right with Layden Robinson and Mike Onwenu, but left tackle, left guard are both hurt right now in City So and Vidarian Lowe. So what we've seen at practice, it looks like Chuks Okorafor is going to be your left tackle this week, and that is a tall task for him to go against Trey Hendrickson. So, and on top of that, like I said, left guard, has been a question mark as well with City So out. It looked like it was going to be Nick Leverett, but now they've started to rotate Michael Jordan in there the last couple of days at practice, who's on the practice squad. So I would look for him to be a practice squad elevation and potentially even a guy who starts. So that's kind of why I said you need to establish the run. You can't rely on the pass because those ends are going to come off quick. And even Sam Hubbard and Mike Onwenu, I like Onwenu a lot. I think he's a good tackle. I think he's a great guard. Sam Hubbard is no easy task for a guy who, frankly, like I mentioned, is better suited as a guard. So those guys are going to fly off the edge. You're not going to have a ton of time if you're Jacoby Brissett. So again, it's going to be a tall task for those bookend tackles, especially with it being Chuks Okorafor and not like a guy in Vidarian Lowe, who again, not the best talent in the world, but in my opinion, better on the left than Okorafor, and someone who they at least tabbed and have believed in on that left side. One thing too, quickly on the pass rush, Joe, I'll just add, and this is credit to Taylor Kyles, who dove into the film a little bit, but we talked about it on our show today. The Browns ran to Trey Hendrickson's side a bunch last year with a ton of explosive plays. They either cut back to the left or, just ran straight at Trey Hendrickson because as good of a pass rusher as he is, he's not great at shedding blocks and in the run game. So Alex Van Pelt knows that. They exploited that in the past with Cleveland. I would look for the Patriots to do the same thing on Sunday to try and get a little chunk of change in the run game.
All right, Mike. What do you think of the betting line? You know how favorites of 7 or more really struggle in week 1. Are you looking at that record of Joe Burrow early in seasons, 1-4, 2-6 in his first 2 weeks? Right. You looking into that at all?
That's why when I said earlier, I think it'll be close. I do think they cover the spread, and it's moved around a bit because of the question marks with Jamar Chase. I think I saw it as low as 8.5, as high as 9.5. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think they keep it close. I've tabbed like a 21-14 Bengals win. I think it's going to be a little bit low scoring, so that keeps it within 7. I think the Patriots can keep it tight. You mentioned the slow starts for the Bengals. Nobody really knows what the Patriots are yet. They're not good. I think we know that, but it's hard to understand exactly what kind of offense Alex Van Pelt's going to call. So there's not a ton for Lou Anarumo to study. And so they might catch him off guard. They might run a couple trick plays. I know they're going to bleed clock. They're going to keep it tight. They're going to establish the run game. It's a matter of whether Cincinnati can keep that tight. So you mentioned, the favorites not covering early on. I think that's one to watch. My guess is the Patriots cover. It's too big of a spread for week 1 with a team in the Bengals who have started slow and Joe Burrow coming off an injury. Question marks to Jamar Chase. I don't think an upset is in the cards, but I think a lot of people, especially Patriots fans, will come away from week 1 saying, wow, this team isn't as bad as we thought. And then, of course, you get into the gauntlet after that, and we'll see what happens from there.
All right, he's Mike Kadlick, CLNS. Did you know that Chris called in last night?
Did he? About what?
Our fantasy football draft.
Oh, yeah. When is that?
Well, it was last night at 7 o'clock. I had the number 1 pick, but guess what? I work. I do a radio.
Did you draft while on radio?
Well, I missed it, and it auto-drafted Christian McCaffrey.
I'm sure you would have taken him anyway, no?
I don't know. I was just upset that they made me draft at 7 o'clock. Why couldn't we do 8 or later?
Did you know I'm on the wait list for that league?
Oh, yeah, you're not getting in.
I think I had I forget who was in, but I think there was a chance a couple of years ago, but I am... Yeah. Actually, you know what? Well, we have like union dues and everything, right, in this league? Oh, yeah. The league meeting is at what, like Hooters or something?
Yes, and guess where I met Skaz for the very first time?
Hooters in Dedham?
Yep.
Look at that.
And some guy in the chat last night goes, Joe found some guy at Hooters and now is his producer. Like thinking like I just found a random guy on the street.
Yeah, right.
Which I thought was pretty funny. All right, Mike. Well, you got some time to enjoy the game. Oh, you got
Yeah.
What are your bets tonight? So, you got some stuff. You can pump it. What do you got?
Yeah, we got some prize picks over at CLNS, so gotta make them happy. You can use code CLNS for a bonus over a prize picks. But I'm going with Mahomes, more than 271 passing yards. I'm going the Pride of BC, Zay Flowers, 54.5 yards. I'm going more. And I think Derrick Henry scores a touchdown. So I'm excited. I'm just happy football's back. Like, it sounds so cliche, but you sit on the couch or you sit in the studio where you guys are and you see, like, the pregame show and it's actual football. It makes you pretty freaking happy.
I'm very happy. No, it is all the degenerates come out, like the real scoundrels.
Oh, yeah. My cousin texted me this morning and asked if I could find him a website that had Hendon Hooker MVP odds.
We just did MVP odds. I did not see Hendon Hooker on there.
Well, his thinking was if Jared Goff goes down, Hendon Hooker comes into the best offense in football and could win MVP, which, if that's not degenerate, I don't know what is.
That is just Joe me the money instead. Just give it to me. just give it right on to me. All right, Mike, we'll make that happen.
Who's your MVP pick? Wait, who's your MVP pick?
Well, we just gave it away on the air. I think you're going to have to go back a little. I took Jalen Hurts.
Thank you.
Skaz took Josh Allen.
No Jordan Love?
No love Jordan.
I love Jordan Love.
Everybody loves love. All right, Mike, we'll do it. One night we'll get you in studio. We'll hang out. We'll have fun.
I'm down. Happy to do it. We'll talk.
All right. He's Mike Kadlick, everybody. Thanks, Mike. Mike Kadlick, CLNS. Big pizza guy. He's from my area, and his cousin married my best friend, so it's like we know. It's like we're all in the family. And him and Barth go way back. It's like I met Skaz at Hooters. It's just like it's a small world, everybody. All right, kickoff coming up. Let's get to the headlines, and then we got football next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Chiefs -3. Ravens getting 3 points. Total 47. Kickoff in just a few minutes here. And the Patriots and Bengals will play this weekend. The injury report is out. City The game going a little longer. He lets you get your bets in. Jeez, guys. Anything else that's lingering here? 2.5, 46 at kickoff. So it moved half a point and a point. So we'll keep our eyes on that one.
Here we go, Joe. New kickoff.
So let's see. Oh, what channel is this game on, by the way?
NBC.
All right.
I know you'll have to get used to Amazon going forward, though. You have to log in.
I might have to bring my box. All right. So the new kickoff rules. If we were out on the playground, I wouldn't even know how to do this, to be honest with you. But they're doing it this year to be. What is this? Who's Rob Riggle?
You know who Rob Riggle is. He's in Will Ferrell movies.
Was
and
he
stuff.
In the Catalina wine mixer guy?
Yeah, he's like, I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah, that guy.
That's
I know
Rob
that
Riggle.
guy.
Yes. Big Chiefs fan, apparently. Former Navy SEAL, I believe.
Yeah, that's how I know who he is. The Catalina wine mixer. Yeah, you just got to say that. It's just. All right, so they're lining up here. And I'm sure they're wearing the patch for Jacoby Jones, who passed away this year. Scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, I believe, on a punt or kick return.
I think it was a kick return, yeah.
Yeah. So the NFL season is officially underway.
Was he the one Tomlin tripped?
He tried to.
He was okay. That was
yeah. So the opening kickoff was a touchback. Ravens get the ball.
One carry for Derrick Henry already.
Oh, I'm behind you then. Wait, you're ahead of me right now?
Yes, significantly so.
Why is this TV slower than that TV?
Oh, Joe, I got it on the computer and the TV. Computer's ahead.
Mine right there.
Yeah, there you go. Log in.
All right, well, we got in or out coming up. I actually didn't even think of any today for some reason.
You sent a couple, maybe by accident, but yes.
Okay. I sent a couple by accident.
Sometimes I don't know if they're in or outs or just things you've seen on Twitter.
Big Ron sent me his picks for today. Likes the Ravens +3, and then he went to Kowloon and got Saugus wings.
Sounds like a good day.
That's a solid night. How do you feel about? Okay, I know that there's Thursday night football every week, but doesn't Thursday feel like a college football night for you?
Yeah, a little bit. But I'm in. I'm out on the Fridays, but give me Thursday and Sunday, Monday.
I'll do Thursday, Friday because of the international. I'll make a case for it. But for the most part, I really love the college football. And we have a podcast coming up as well. Go check that out at 985thesportshub.com. The Derrick Henry first play run was minus 5,000 tonight. I wonder if anybody bet that. We do have in or out coming up, but Mike is in Quincy and wants to talk about cards. What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, Joe? I have a quick question. I'm just new getting into sports card breaking, and I just wanted to know, do you know any good breakers that I should look into joining their breaks? Yeah,
Card Vault, friends of the program. Check them out. They're in Boston. They're right at the TD Garden.
Okay.
So check them out. Follow them. My guys, good dudes. And they get whenever something's brand new, right? They have it right away when it's. But be careful on some breaks, man. Like I do it sometimes because I'm looking for, I get a good price on a team. You know what I mean? But just remember though, I'm not saying it's gambling, but if you hit 2 cards, they might only be worth $5 and you put 100 in. So at times it can be. The other thing is you might want to get those cards and grade them right away. So just keep that in mind.
All right. Thanks. Right, and one more question about what's his name, May there. If May turns out to be a good quarterback, do you think the Patriots will actually pay him when it's time to pay him?
You know what's funny about that? I don't know where I read this the other day, but they're going to have 4 more years to figure it out. So like. What I would do is extend him. You could always give him the 5th-year option as well. But if you look at what happened with Daniel Jones, they gave him a deal. They can get out of it. So I do think that if he's the right guy, they'll pay him. I do.
All right.
All right, man.
Thanks.
That's a good question, though, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, and the sports, yeah, man, I love the sports cards. I like to watch a lot of them, too. I go on Whatnot and Fanatics Live if you want to check those out.
Okay. Whatnot. Whatnot is just auctions, or they do live breaks, right?
Same thing. Yep, both.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
All right, bro.
Thanks.
Good night. Is that a first down? All right. Let's keep it going, baby. All right, let's do in or out, Scaz, next here on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
.org/Boston.
Zolak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is
Well, it is the Joe Show, and we are heavy on food. And we are heavy on wrestling, Joe. Are you in or out on the WWE returning to NBC?
In. When I was a kid, Saturday night main event, it was on at 8 or 9. I can't remember. So this is another thing that's kind of happening. I do think at times there's too much wrestling. But now that they're on the streaming platforms, they can have, like last week they were in Berlin. I didn't get to see it because I was away. But you know what I did when I got home? I watched it on the streaming app. Wow, nice kickoff. So the kickoff was returned there, by the way. I don't know who returned that. But yeah, I'm in on this. Yeah. Wrestling on national television, and you could watch it on a black and white TV. Those still exist. Did you ever have black and white TV?
Way back.
I did.
Way back.
I loved it. I used to watch Welcome Back Kotter on it.
Kotter.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Kotter.
All right, Joe, sticking with food and wrestling, we'll head back to food for this one. This is something you put in Slack earlier today, and it was simply a photo of 2 hash browns with an Oreo McFlurry in between the 2 hash browns. A hash brown Oreo McFlurry sandwich. Joe Murray, are you in or out?
I'm going to wait for the chat to get in on this one in a little bit. So it's a McFlurry. An Oreo McFlurry spread on top of a hash brown with a hash brown top. I think I'm out, dude. But yet, I'll dip my fry in the ice cream.
Yeah, I think this is just simply too much. Too much.
I wonder what Smitty does. I like Smitty. I like football. And we'll get you the headlines right now on Sports Up Headlines.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston.
Patriots!
It's an all-new season for the Patriots.
Wow.
You'll hear it all right here.
Yes.
Your home of the Pats. 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub Headlines.
Chiefs and Ravens tied at 7 right now. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Derrick Henry, a touchdown run for the Ravens, while Xavier Worthy had an end around for a 21-yard touchdown. Riche Rice has 2 catches for 27 yards in this one. Patriots and Bengals. This weekend, injury report is out. Sidney So did not practice. Jamar Chase limited. Expected to play. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
All right, back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. We're hanging out with you, watching the football game. Would the Patriots have a better record under Drake May than Jacoby Brissett? Stratomatic ran multiple simulations with both quarterbacks regarding the schedule and et cetera. Now, I believe Stratomatic had the Celtics winning the championship last year too, guys. So, I mean, I think they're pretty accurate. I really like. I know Tom Giles is big on that over at NBC Sports Boston. They put those vignettes together. But I thought this was at least interesting. The quarterback simulator from Stratomatic. This is what the record would be with Jacoby Brissett as the starter. This is what his stats would be. The team would be 4-13. He'd throw for 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. His completion percentage would be high at 65%. His rating at 88. He'd rush for 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's probably what he's going to do. But wait until you hear the Drake May numbers. I mean, I don't understand why one quarterback who's played in the league for 8 years, why his numbers would not be as good as the rookie quarterback who's never played, but let's give you the numbers. Drake May would go 8-9 if he was the starter on this team, throwing for 3,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. His completion percentage would be just around 63% with a QB rating of 86, but he would run more, 83 times for 384 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, I look at those numbers and I'm like, what? Is it just his presence on the field? Does he make people better? Is it about actually keeping plays alive with his feet? That Stratomatic is just pretty accurate. And this brings up the tanking stuff. And I wanted to bring up what Elliot Wolf said about this. Because he did talk about it. And it's been written in the Boston Herald lately. But, you know, they clearly know they're in a rebuild. But Wolf rejected rebuilding the philosophy, you know, that the NBA does. He says tanking front offices actively increase their odds of landing the number 1 overall pick. And what they do is they sit veterans midseason and trade for future picks. They tanking teams also field inexperienced players who otherwise might not see game action were it not for the franchise's goal of losing games today to win tomorrow. A recent example of that is the 2019 Dolphins, last year's Washington Commanders. This is a quote from Elliot Wolf. I think tanking cheats the game. We would never get in a situation where we think that's the right way to go. That's not what the NFL is all about, he said. That's not what pro football is all about, and that's not what we're going to be about. Wolf also pushed back against the notion that the Patriots are executing a full-on youth movement. Quote, we still have a number of veteran players that we are expecting to contribute for us, and veteran backups that we expect to contribute. It's not just throwing darts at a dartboard. So 8 months into the job, Wolf has taken a moment to look within. He's still looking for areas to improve, but the 42-year-old offered he could be more assertive. I'll say this. I didn't realize he was 42. We're the same age. I mean, I would assume Elliot Wolf knows a little bit more about football than me. But that's Stratomatic, though. Does Elliot Wolf know more than that? I don't know what you thought about that, Skaz, but that's wild. And it just makes me think, does Brissett just suck? Does he just suck? And with Drake May, he's just a better player, which would give the team more wins? Like, dude, that's a 4-win difference. Is Drake May really +4 over Jacoby Brissett?
That's why I have a tough time buying in. Because, yeah, I'm of the belief that Drake May is more talented, more athletic than Jacoby Brissett. But it's just, what are they basing it off of? Like, we just don't know. So I just have a tough time, you know, buying in too heavily to that. I think it's definitely interesting to see the difference between Brissett and May. But for me, it's just, what are they basing it off of? Just guessing, projections? It's, you know, with Brissett, there's at least tape out there, NFL seasons to go off of. With May, they're giving him 4 more wins than Brissett, just, you know, basically going off vibes, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting tool to use. Obviously, it had the Celtics winning last year. They were the best team in basketball far and away. So, yeah, it's definitely, you know, for the people that want May to start, there's some more ammo for you right there.
Stratomatic feels Drake May's way better than Brissett.
Wonder if Mike's going to use that in his argument at any time.
There we go. I know. Like, oh, let's use the numbers. I did that to him last week. Yeah, you're right. Like, how do you not look at that number? How are the Patriots not looking at that number? Do you think the Red... I know we're going to talk to Smitty on baseball coming up in a minute here, but do you think the Red Sox use the Stratomatic?
They could use just about anything these days. It's not going well over there.
How the hell is it a 4-game difference? They have effectively the same numbers. It's because one quarterback makes everyone else better, and the other one is just what he is. So it goes back to in or out on the 23 ranked. I think Brissett's worse. Do I think Brissett's a top 30 quarterback in the league? Maybe. You know what, Skaz? He might be top 30. He might be. 23, though? Out. I think that's a bad number. All right, I just watched the Chiefs tackles do that lean. You know, the one that Okorafor got called on so many times? I tried to throw a flag in here. The Chiefs get away with it. You know why? They're good. You know why the Pats don't get away with it? They suck. Let's talk to Christopher Smith. Smitty on baseball. We'll do that next. Get a Sox are off tonight. There's Taylor Swift. She's clapping. Some guy hugged her. Who's that guy? All right, well, the Chiefs got the ball. We'll tell you what happens next here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray on the...
right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Been talking football all night. Red Sox are off tonight. It must mean that our buddy Smitty, Christopher Smith from Mass Live, joining us here. Smitty, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
You got an off night tonight, man. Thank you for joining us, dude. How was New York?
Hey. It was awesome. New York is great. I was in Detroit and New York, and it was eventful in New York. I don't know how much you heard, but yeah, it was pretty interesting there.
Oh, I didn't hear it. There's a little bit of action going on there?
Yeah, the Devers, stuff that went on. I don't know if you heard too much about that, but
yeah, tell us a little bit about it. So this is what I got out of it. We were on after the game the other night. Really somber locker room, and Devers didn't talk to the media. Maybe you can tell the listeners a little more about that.
Yeah, so it was a somber locker room. It was pretty crazy, just dead, like, a morgue. And but Rafael Devers was sitting, at his locker, staring into his locker, holding a baseball bat at one point, holding his head, different things like that, just staring into his locker for a good, 40 minutes after the game. We're just standing there. Players are leaving, first bus is leaving, players are leaving. He's still got his head, in his locker, staring in his locker. He's sitting there staring. And so, he looked extremely frustrated about what was going on. Obviously, he has not hit well. He didn't hit well on the road trip. I think it was one for 25 or something like that. And so, there was obviously frustration. He finally gets up now at about 10 o'clock. I think the game ended at about 9:45. At 10 o'clock, the Spanish translator had actually told him, the media wants to speak to you, whatever. He didn't say that he didn't want to speak to the media. He indicated that he would speak eventually, so we waited in there until 11 o'clock. He finally, gets up, showers, gets going, and he's dressing, and then we think we're going to interview him at 11 o'clock, and he just walks out, doesn't even look at us, just walks out. And so, it was interesting because, I work with Chris Cotillo, and Chris often, will talk about the way that the media is treating. If a player doesn't talk, he tweets it out. And usually I'm like, you know what? People don't care. I tell them all the time, people don't care how the media is treated. So I usually don't bring up when a player doesn't talk. Sometimes I'll write in my story, just basic journalism, they don't speak. But I don't really make a big deal of it on Twitter. But this time it was he knew that we wanted him at 10 o'clock, and he didn't say no. He wasted our time, waiting for him. And, so I did bring it up and on Twitter, and I wrote an article about it. And, Julian McLean from the Globe also wrote about it. And so, we were frustrated.
So, my take on that is, you got to think of leadership, right? This year, Chris, I'll be honest with you. I think that between Durant and Devers, they're probably their two best players, and they're their two biggest non-leaders that they have. And maybe Devers leads by example. I get it, but I don't know. Is it a language barrier too? Maybe.
Well, no. Devers can speak English. He uses a translator simply because. He doesn't want things, he doesn't want to, a lot of people do that, right? They just want to make sure what they're saying is completely correct. And so he does speak English. I think that the thing with him, he's done this throughout the year. After losses, he's routinely not spoken to the media. And I haven't brought it up until now. It's been an issue. It's something that the Red Sox front office knows about. There's people, officials in that, Red Sox team that don't like the fact that he does that. And so he's done it all year though, and he's left guys, that are lesser guys. I mean, this is a veteran guy who makes over $300 million. He should be talking after a lot. They have such a young team, a young and inexperienced team. Who else are we going to talk to? We're usually left with, a young guy like, Tristan Casas or somebody. And so he's the guy, he's the veteran, but he doesn't want to be the face of the franchise. That's what he doesn't want to be thought of that way. And so there is I'm not saying he has to, he has to talk to the media, but if you're going to be a $300 million player and you're going to be the leader of the team, then you need to kind of step up after those, tough losses when, you go 1-5 on a road trip, your season's falling apart and you're 1 for 21. You have to be the person that steps up. David Ortiz did that. Xander Bogaerts did that. Dustin Pedroia used to do that. Everybody has done that. And Tristan Casas has actually been a guy that, he'll speak every day after a loss. And so, guys with much less service time than Raphael ended up doing this for him. And so it's become a little bit of a problem.
Do you think he's checked out?
I don't think he's checked out. I think he's frustrated for multiple reasons. I don't think he's been, I think it's been a good year for him overall. I mean, his OPS was over 900 the other day. I don't know if it still is. If it isn't, it's right there. He's had a great year. He's had an all-star year, and he's done it with 2 bad shoulders, right? Like, he's had chronic shoulder soreness the whole year. I think that he's trying to play through it right now, and he can't hit the ball to left center field. He's having difficulty doing stuff like that. And so I think he's frustrated. I don't you don't sit in front of your locker for 40 minutes. I've never seen a player do that. Like, after a game, just sitting there looking extremely frustrated and mad, if you're checked out. You just don't do that. So I don't think he's checked out. I think he's frustrated that, I'm not saying he's a bad guy at all. I've thought Devers is a good guy for many years of covering him and all that. I just don't think he has, leadership skills, to be like this, a spokesman. Alex Cora often calls it like he's the spokesman of the Red Sox, the spokesman of the company. Like, he just doesn't have it to do that type of thing. And that's why they've tried to make other guys like that, like how they've stressed to Jared Duran, like, we want you to be a leader this year. And so, so I don't think he's checked out. I just think he's extremely frustrated that his shoulders hurt a lot and his numbers and he's in the biggest slump he's in the biggest slump of his season right now. It's the season and the team is going down the drain.
It's funny. We were talking about the infield defense or the defense. Like, what could they do about Devers? And we couldn't even figure out who the backup third baseman was. Like, it's Romy Gonzalez, I think. But
I mean, it's like you could put Romy there, Nick Sogard. I mean, it's just a team that they don't have much, like depth, and especially It's just not a good thing.
So, reason why I hit you up, Chris Smith of Mass Live, Smitty on Baseball. Obviously we know how the trip went. 1-5 overall. They've lost 11 of 14. They're a 500 team. But you wrote the Red Sox road trip sucked, and this should do it for the 2024 Red Sox. And I went, ooh, let's talk to Smitty. So the road trip sucked, and that's it, huh?
Yeah, that was Cora's word. He said sucked, and so I quoted him in the headline, but it was also an opinion column. I feel like that's a wrap. I mean, there's 22 games remaining in the season, and they're 5.5 games behind in the wild card. They've given you no indication, as during the second half, that they could make up that type of ground and play that well. They're 10 games under in the second half here. I mean, I remember coming on this radio station, right before the second half began, and I was pretty optimistic about the team. I thought they were going to get the second wild card, and so they have played, really bad. The wheels have fallen off. They're 10 games under 500, in the second half with a run differential of like negative 40 something. And so, the bullpen has had the second worst, or the pitching staff in general has the second worst ERA in the second half. They've made a ton of errors this year, 102. I mean, you look at the errors, it's like last year's team was criticized so much because they couldn't play defense. This year's team, I think, has even more errors, and still 3 weeks to go than last year's team. And obviously, no one's hitting right now. They've in the last 5 games, they've only scored 8 runs or whatever. And so, it just doesn't look good. You can't make up that type of ground. They've got they've got a really easy series, I guess, coming up. You call it really easy because they're playing the 109-loss White Sox. But, you look at it and they play some tough teams right after that. Baltimore comes to town for 3. Then you go to the Yankees for 4. And those are teams that are fighting for the top, the AL East spot, and also the first wild card. So, like in playoff positioning. So it just, to me, the season's over. It's not going. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Wow, you heard it there from Smitty. I thought you'd be locked in until the very, very end. The White Sox come up though. I mean, they suck. What are the the Red Sox? What's the pitching lineup going to be?
I tweeted it out last night. And
is it Pivetta? I think it's Pivetta. Bayo's going to play. Criswell.
Criswell, yeah. Criswell, and then Crawford or something, I think.
Pivetta, Criswell, Bayo.
Bayo, yeah. And so, I mean, you look at this series, and you have to win 3 games, obviously. And they split against them earlier this year in Chicago, 2 of 2. They played so terrible at home this year. They're under 500. Now they're a 500 team anyway. But, they've played really bad baseball at home. And so, anything could, I mean, look at not only was this last road trip, brutal, like a 1-5 road trip, but their last homestand was 2-6. They got swept by Arizona, and then they won 2 of 5 against the Blue Jays. And so, this is just going to be, I mean, I just feel like there's really not, and I think that's the same feeling of a lot of people that are covering the team.
I got one more for you that I wanted to bring into the mix. This has been I've been marinating this one for a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cross sports for you a little bit here, but the Crafts made a big move, obviously, this year, moving on from Belichick hiring Gerard Mayo, and, whatever's happening this year is their decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it comes to the Red Sox, John Henry is the guy who wants to spend money or doesn't. And they haven't spent over the last couple of years, and they've been criticized for it. This year, they spent a little bit, at least around the trade deadline, made some moves. But here they are, 22 games, and not going to make the playoffs. Like, was John Henry right, and should we at least look into his brain when it comes to a competitive baseball team and investing in it?
No, because I think that they'll learn from this year, and that if they had supplemented some of this roster and the talent they had with what they needed, this would have been a playoff team. You look at it, and Craig Breslow, from the first day of that he was hired last year in the off season, he was saying that the top priority is starting pitching. And what did they do this off season? They got Lucas Giolito, who was kind of a wild card, like a bounce back type candidate. He's had success in the past, and he's a guy that's reliable in terms of innings, usually until this year. But him and Criswell got a 1-year, $1 million deal. I mean, those were the only 2 starting pitchers you added. And so they really didn't spend the money to supplement what they had, the pieces that they had in place. And they made some moves at the deadline. They added some payroll at the deadline. None of those moves worked, obviously. But I just think that they need to look at it come this offseason and be like, they need to think we really screwed up, in terms of pitching. The pitching was really good, obviously, in the first half, but they didn't have it. They don't have enough of it. and it's young pitching, and they just, it fizzled, and that was pretty predictable. And so they need to go into this offseason thinking like, okay, you've got 6 top prospects in Baseball America's top 100. They're all position players. All your good, talented young players are position players that are already on the team. They don't have pitching. They don't have pitching at the major league level. I mean, Crawford and Houck are really good, or they're good, but, you need more. And so they don't have a ton of young pitching, and they don't have any in the minors that's ready to come up at all. None in the top, the top of their organization. And so they need to go and get starting pitching to supplement, this team and, some of these guys that are coming up.
All right, Smitty. You ready to get back to work tomorrow?
I am ready. Actually, I have the day off tomorrow. They give me the day off.
Hey, how about that?
I can chill with the kids, although Kaylee's in preschool, in kindergarten now. So
school's back, huh?
I'll chill with the boy, Cooper.
There you go, man. Well,
and we'll do some fun stuff.
There you go, man. Well, the season's over. You said it's all over.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just don't see how they could make up that kind of ground. 5.5 games and 22 games remaining.
What do you think of this Christian Campbell kid? He's a right-handed hitter.
Oh yeah.
We know about the 3 left-handers. Could he break out, considering that he's a right-hander?
Yeah, so I really like him. I would actually think about trading, Marcelo Meyer in the offseason.
Is his value down because of his injury by any means?
It's still up because he's number 11 on Baseball America's list. However, I would be very concerned if I was the Red Sox about injury history with him. Now it's 2 years, the back issues. It's like he's a young guy. So, I really like Christian Campbell a lot. I actually got the chance to talk to him at Fort Myers last fall after he was drafted. Seemed like a really good kid and a guy that was I thought when I talked to him, I was like, this kid could be a really good hitter for average and contact type hitter. And so I actually put him on, I did a Mass Live top 25, and he wasn't on, any top 30 list coming into the season. I put him 25 because I liked him as a hitter. But what he's done this year is incredible. They wanted him to add more power and subtract some of that contact. So, yeah, they would trade some strikeouts for power. And he did that at the beginning of the year. He was hitting for more power and striking out more, but now he's not striking out and he's still hitting for the power. So he's an incredibly intriguing guy who's hitting for, really good power and also making contact and hitting for a high average and on-base percentage. And, I think he's number 25 now on the top 100 list. So I would consider using that Marcelo Meyer or somebody, even if Christian Campbell doesn't defensively shortstop. I mean, maybe if he's a second baseman, but, Rafaela, could play shortstop long term. So, I would look to trading Meyer while his value is there. And, because I really do like this Christian Campbell kid a lot.
All right, he's Christopher Smith, everybody. Smitty on baseball. They're giving him the night off tomorrow because they're taking on the Chicago White Sox. So hopefully they win that one because it's I would project them to win. Smitty, thank you, sir, on your off night, taking some time to join us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And we'll catch up with you before the end of the season, I'm sure.
Sounds good. Anytime.
You got it. He's Christopher Smith, everybody. Right, Mass Live does an excellent job. Thanks, Smitty. A lot happened during the football game. We'll tell you right now when we do Sports Hub Headlines.
Sports Hub Headlines.
All right, it's 10-7 Chiefs right now. The Ravens have had a turnover. And also, they went for it on 4th down.
Inside the Sports Hub.
I think the one thing the NBA did screwing up was pissing off Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I truly believe.
Oh, we're doing this now? I had that. Let's go. Let's do it.
I think Jaylen getting left off the Olympic team and Jason not playing. First of all, they were already horrific players already.
Yeah.
And I think both of them going to have the red ass.
That's good for me, though, right? I'm actually glad they got the chips on the shoulder after a title.
No
that
question.
Never happens.
No question. I tell people, I says, yo, man, I really think both of those guys, number one, they're the defending champs. That's going to take their confidence to another level. But the NBA have found a way to piss both of them off this summer. How about that?
Brown and Jason Tatum. Now, I don't know if the NBA that necessarily screwed Brown and Tatum. But did basketball in the offseason treat the three of them? I mean, one retired. He's back now. I mean, I think that Tatum was humiliated, but some other people don't feel that way. And then, of course, Jaylen Brown was boycotted. So I'm glad that Barkley said that. But at the same time, the basketball found a way to piss both those guys off, even Barkley for that matter.
Yeah, I think from a Celtics fan perspective, it's a big win. It may have been frustrating at times over the summer. You want to watch the Olympics with your favorite players in there, with your team's guys. You want to see Tatum and Brown succeed. But looking at the big picture and long term, we saw Denver come back after winning a title and struggle. I don't want to say struggle's probably a little strong, but they weren't the same in the playoffs. They ran out of gas. Their bench wasn't as deep. Well, you don't have to worry about the bench being as deep with the Celtics. They re-signed everybody and added Lonnie Walker. And your two best players, your two superstars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, are coming off a championship and still feel slighted.
Yes.
I think that's a great place to be.
I agree with you, Skaz. They should feel slighted. I was given a reaction to a flag that should have been thrown. It's tough to watch these games, everybody. Oh, Nelson Aguilar. Come on, bro. And then he got yelled at by Lamar. Nelson Aguilar getting chewed out by Lamar Jackson on the sideline. Did Mac Jones ever do that to him? Also, did you see Juju Smith-Schuster's drop?
What a shock that was. Doesn't it feel good, Joe? Just have football back.
Yeah, it does.
Been walking around with a pep in my step all week.
Me too. I mean, how am I bets
Get to do it all again tomorrow night, too.
Oh, that's right. All right, let's take a look at the old bets right now. Derrick Henry right now at the moment has how many rushes? It's 8. Need 8 more, Skaz. You think we can get him?
It's early, Joe. I feel pretty good about it. Looks like you might get another one right here.
How's Isaiah Pacheco doing? Has he scored yet? So this would be my opinion. And I know we were just talking Celtics, and I agree with you. Motivation. Even Joe Mazzulla's like, yeah, bring it.
Mazzulla's loving this.
Put the dot on my head.
That's why we love Mazzulla. He's our psycho. He's ours. And I'm all in. Crazy Joe is here to stay.
I kind of wish Cora was like that. Like Mayo, I don't know. We don't know yet, right? Cassidy's kind of got a little, he'll go at someone, right?
Cassidy.
Who did I say? Oh, my God, Montgomery. Whoa.
Traveling back in time.
Whoa.
Now,
well, Cassidy even call out anybody. Went to Montgomery, though. Remember the first year he let the veterans run everything. Who did he go at last year? Was it Swayman?
I think he had a little.
No. Who said? He said something to somebody walking off the ice. McAvoy. It was McAvoy. Run. You know, Skaz, you just said Ravens going to come down here and score a touchdown. So let's see what happens. We were talking, I don't know. Benny, what's going on, Benny?
Hey, what's going on, man? You're all out of sorts. Cassidy, huh?
I got the game on. We got action going. We were talking Celtics. There's a lot going on here right now, man.
No, I'm with you, man. It's, Ravens, Chiefs, good game. Too many flags for my liking, man. Let these guys play.
I agree with you.
I know you're talking Celtics really quick. and people pissing off Tatum and Brown. That's how we feel. Like, thinking about it for Tatum, wouldn't this be like kind of the last year to see if he has that in him? Because like if there's more, like now's the time to show like you really go after people piss you off. They didn't play in the Olympics. They're telling you they're not one of the best 10 players on the Olympic squad. Like you have DMPs. Like, wouldn't this be the year to see that come out of him? Like, all right, I'm going to show you guys now, like what we've been wanting to see from him. Wouldn't this be like that breakout year we're hoping to see?
Yeah, man, I feel you. What do you think about me saying that the three guys that basketball pissed off most was Barkley, Brown, and Tatum?
I'm with you. I agree. I'm a mess Barkley. I like that inside the TNT show. I mean, that was probably one of the better shows to watch outside of the actual games, man. To watch those guys interact, it was great time.
Yeah, I did. Did you see the ratings that they have for? They just came out with the NBA ratings for the players in that basketball game. What is it, 2K or whatever?
No, I don't.
Tatum was a 95, Brown a 92, Porzingis, Holiday 87, White 86.
I don't pay attention too much. I did see. I think I saw a social media post somewhere that we're the only team that had like everybody over 85.
Yep.
Started
and Horford's an 80, Pritchard is 78. Cornette got a 76.
Hey, show some respect to Cornette.
Even Walker got a 74.
That Lonnie Walker pickup, like what? So the exhibition contract, like what is that? I'm not.
It's a Taco Fall contract. So it just basically means that he gets a tryout and then that he could make the team. And they have an option on him. They could. I think with the Exhibit 10, you could also go to Maine if you have to.
Oh, I mean, he has to.
Well, he's a baller.
Make the team.
Well, my whole thing is he's so good he might have to play in Maine.
Agreed. I mean, I don't understand how we picked up a guy like that so late in the house. Like,
well, I think what I do. I think he's betting on himself. Like, I think he would rather go play with the Celtics. Now, here's the deal. So he was drafted by the Spurs, and him and Derek White are boys, and they see him as they don't have really two guards outside of White, Holiday. Brown can play there, but they want another guy, you know. So I think that's what they're looking for.
No, I agree. I love the pickup. I wouldn't mind seeing like Holiday's minutes go down a little bit this season. You know, Derek White, they played so much the past couple years. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't mind Lonnie Walker taking up some of those minutes, man. And he obviously can score the ball and handle it.
Agree with you.
If I can get a quick Patriots talking.
Yeah.
Like what do you see as a successful season for them? Like obviously we know they're not going to win many games, and I'm probably surprised to hear I can actually see them starting off 2-0, based more off Cincinnati struggles in the early season and Seattle. I don't know how Seattle's going to be this year, and then obviously after 2-0, I see them going like 3-14 finishing. So it's not like I'm expecting anything great, but like what can you say like, all right, that was a good season for them?
All right, Ben, appreciate the call. Skaz and I has talked about it. There's an article on 985thesportshub.com, What's a Successful Season? I think it's Gerard Mayo showing he can coach. I think if Gerard Mayo can show he knows X's and O's and makes good calls, then you get your quarterback. Then they have money to go and draft picks and assets to go improve that offensive line, and maybe you find a gem out of one of these wide receivers in Polk maybe. But if Mayo can coach, you shore up your line and you got a quarterback, you're only a few plays away. And the Texans did that in a year. So I also think another successful season is May not playing as much as we want him to. I know that sounds weird, but I think Brissett should be the guy until it's really time to hand the keys over. We'll do the musings at the top of the hour, Skaz, because we went a little late there. We're going to have halftime soon, too, so that we can have a little halftime fun as well. So we're here until 11 o'clock tonight. Some guy sent me a picture and goes, hey, man, why are you at this game? And it's not me, but I thought that was a cupcake, but it looks like it's napkins. To me, that looks like a cupcake. Maybe I'll tweet it out. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here. You listen to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
at midfield. 1st and 10 now at the Kansas City 34-yard line. Touchdowns by Xavier Worthy on an end-around reverse. Also, Derrick Henry, 8 rushes for 33 yards and a touchdown. It's been Lamar Jackson all over the ground. 7 carries, 57 yards. He is 11 of 13. Patrick Mahomes, 9 of 14, just threw a pick. He's been sacked twice. There's been 100 illegal formation calls. Headlines, they are brought to you by nobody. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Murray's Musings here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Skaz, I got something in the mail today from eBay. And I went, oh boy, I hope this has what I got. I opened it up, and it had everything I wanted. But I thought about it. I go, if I wanted to return this, what would I have to do? Because I feel like if you buy something on eBay, are you really bringing, like, and I buy, like, you know, cards, memorabilia, stuff like that. So, like, if it's not what it's, and that's one of the eBay guidelines is, if it's not what it, you know, the description says, you get your money back. The other thing with eBay too is they hold the money for like a certain amount of days and then pay it out. So, just getting back to your frustration on that one.
Still waiting for my money, Joe. Still waiting. Hopefully tomorrow.
Speaking of money, what were the Chiefs doing trying to throw the ball there before the half? Like, Mahomes a generational talent. So don't think I'm sitting here like, that was stupid. What were they doing?
Trying to get too cute. A little bit of that on both sides tonight.
Both sides have been too cute. You're noticing right now, though,
Ravens marching.
The Ravens are like throwing the ball a little bit more, and they're moving the ball. So we'll see what happens here. 13-7, 27 seconds left. All right, so I got to figure something out. We talked about this a while ago. And there's going to be a John Madden biopic, I believe it is. And, wow, come on. They had to blow a timeout. You're ahead of me, right? They blew a timeout? Oh, my God. These linemen, dude. You know what? Here's a musings. Is it the refs or the linemen? Who is it? Don't give me both. I need one or the other, in or out, Skaz.
I think it's the refs, Joe.
This hockey league guy's a jerk.
I think the NFL has gone a little bit too far. Little bit too far.
I'll admit.
Let the boys play.
The Chiefs, I see a little bit of lean. Like, do the rock away.
Let them lean.
You know, like, lean back. Lean back. There's a little lean going on there. Don't get me wrong. I just think the Ravens are holding on for dear life because they have rookies playing on their line. But they just blew a timeout because their line couldn't set up right. Anyways, yes, too many penalties. This hockey league guy, does he get it from his dad? Does he have pipes too? Back to the biopic of John Madden. Throw the ball. Nice move by Everett's own Isaiah Likely.
Local guy.
Everett High, baby. Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, Chanticleer.
That's right. Big one this weekend for McCall against Tennessee. Did you see that? Tennessee goes on the road. He's now at NC State.
People love Tennessee.
ACC versus SEC there. Anyways, I just tweeted it out at Joey Murr. Someone leaked a photo of Nicolas Cage. And he looks heavy.
Can that be real?
I don't know, but Nicolas Cage was seen walking the streets of Hollywood today, just 3 days after being cast to play John Madden in an upcoming biopic. And I mean, he looks like Paul Bearer from WWE. I don't know how to explain that. He's wearing like that polo shirt that you tuck in, but your belly hangs out because your belt. I know all about that. That's why I wear the suit or a vest, because I don't like to show the belly when it's. I don't like the tuck. I believe they make those shirts now, though. You can tuck. But now I'm trying to. Is this real or not, Skaz? What do you think?
I lean no. It just looks too. It looks too photoshopped, and something about Nick. It just doesn't look right. Something's off here.
I don't think it's him. Like,
almost looks like Bobby Baklava.
Oh, Bobby Baklava. Nice run. Bobby Baklava, who loves trains. I don't know if you've seen that yet, guys.
Haven't gotten to that point, but I do know that. That is something that I am aware of.
He loves trains. And him and Junior developed a really good friendship.
Yeah, he's mad at Junior right now.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't go to his father's funeral or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Junior, though, Junior's got some.
He's going through it right now.
Junior's, have you met Junior's lady friend?
She is no more. Cut ties with her.
Because, Junior didn't want to tell anybody, their relations.
And she was talking, Joe.
She was talking. Oh, Junior. Anyways, I think it's too. I think the guy's too fat in many areas. There's a lot of boobs and.
Just look at the arms. Those aren't Nick Cage's arms. Like, there's no way.
Oh yeah. That's not. Yeah. Anyways, it's at Joey Murr if you want to see the photo. Today you may have seen the trailer for the Vince McMahon documentary. That looks like it's going to be powerful. And not even if you're a wrestling fan, just about a character who created characters, who was his own character, and maybe at times thought he was the character. The Vince McMahon. Did you see the trailer?
He's a bad guy.
I agree. No, I think it's going to be powerful. Like I
hope they tell the whole story. It looks like they're going to, but you always worry with these things.
I put him in that club of guys that had money and did whatever they wanted and thought they could get away with it.
I mean, I don't think he is that category.
But, like, there's a crew of guys, and I'll keep the names out. But
yeah, but I think he's, poster boy.
I think he is the poster boy. There you go. Mr. McMahon. He was the character. He was the character that he created. It was like almost like, it's like Ric Flair's now Ric Flair. Born Ric Flair? Definitely Ric Flair is Ric Flair. There's no doubt around that one. Should we take this call?
Yeah, why not?
It's on toilet paper, so let's do it. Dan is in Dorchester. Hey, Dan.
What's going on, guys?
How you know? What made you think of toilet paper?
No. So I was listening a couple weeks ago, and I think it was an In or Out or something. You were talking about like doing the Charmin compared to like what you get at like a restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant stuff is too thin.
Too thin. But if you triple fry that comparatively, the Charmin, I believe, like the dingleberries that come up, like I feel like that's a big factor.
I haven't factored that into it because I don't have that kind of issue, I don't believe. Did he just want to say dingleberry on the air?
Maybe we shouldn't have taken that call, Joe.
If they could just make kicks, this would be a tie game at halftime. What do you think the people who have the over 26? Yeah, 21 more points second half. Should we look at a second half bet, guys?
Oh, we know it's coming, Joe.
Oh, yeah, baby. This is what it's going to be like for 21 straight weeks, huh? We're going to do this every Thursday. You know what, though? Wouldn't you rather hang out with us and watch the game than... I don't know. What else are you doing? What were we just talking about? Oh, toilet paper. You know what's funny? It's funny that someone called in about this because You know how do you have one of those toilet paper holders, Skaz? That it's like a holder in your bathroom, but you put like multiple rolls in it?
I've seen them. That's not what I have now. I got like the standard.
Well, I happen to. Sometimes you leave it on your sink. You ever leave your toilet paper on the sink? Sometimes it's not on the roll. It might be moved. So I couldn't find one. So I went to the bin thing, and when I opened the bin, I found a Charmin Soft, and I noticed the difference.
You could tell?
Oh, my God. It was leak.
Night and day?
I felt like I went from the polyester old suit that you used to have to wear in school to like a Mr. Sid jersey, like a blazer.
Football's back, Joe. We're feeling good. Get my return money. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be feeling great. No complaints for me tonight.
All right, George Lazenby's 85 years old. Michael Keaton, 73. Beetlejuice is coming back, right? Rose McGowan, 51 years old today. Cat Graham, 38 years old today. Freddie Mercury, today was his birthday. Bob Newhart, today he died, right, this year?
Recently, yes.
I forget what birthday that would have been, but it was his birthday today as well.
Raquel Welch.
Oh, wow, that's a good one. She passed away, last year,
Last year, yes.
Wow. Wrestler Sin Cara. Happy 28th birthday to Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran. 28 years old. Today was a French king. Kind of a weak musings tonight.
Francis Ngannou.
Oh, yeah.
It was his birthday today.
Who did he punch? Was it Steve-O?
No, I missed that.
Oh, you haven't seen the Jackass 3?
I don't think I've seen that. I think I've seen it, but I just missed that part.
Yeah. It's last night people in the chat were saying that Lifshat sounds like Steve-O.
There's worse people to be compared to.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I watched the movie Iron Claw about the Von Erich twins. It was very good. Yes, Hyde Park's own, my neighbor, Maura Tierney, was the mom in that movie.
It's the crazy part about that movie is that the true life real story is sadder than the movie.
Way more sad.
Way sadder.
They might even left some stuff out.
They did, yeah. That's
one of the
movies.
There was another kid. I think
it was another brother. Yeah. It's an insanely sad story.
Who was that? Who? Zac Efron. I thought he was excellent. I really did. Like, take the wrestling part. He was absolutely excellent. JP, I see him in there. He's wondering about our intern. Andrew Capone says, Charmin, toilet paper, squatty potty, and a bidet. What's the record for most consecutive illegal formations? I don't know that one. 17-14. Red Sox related. He can rest in peace knowing that the Red Sox have won 3 championships and that's it. But Skaz, I asked Spinny this. I know the Red Sox should spend. And I know that they'd be in the playoffs this year if they did. And that's sad. But I wonder if he does have an eye on the team. Kind of like, I'm not going to invest in this group. They're not good enough. And that doesn't give him a pass by any means. I just wonder if, maybe he knows a little bit more than we give him credit for. Smitty turned that down, instantly.
Yeah, I'm out on that take, Joe.
He was, instantly out.
Out on that. You're giving him too much credit.
I am. But you know what? They invested.
That's my musing for tonight.
And they weren't
you
good
trying
enough.
to give John Henry credit.
I've done that.
I have an issue.
A lot lately, haven't I?
I have an issue with that.
I just don't think, you know how the Crafts think they got to figure it out, right? I don't think Henry knows that he hasn't figured it out. I just think he knows what to spend money on and what not to.
I think that's giving him too much credit.
Okay.
I think he chooses.
He has won 3. How many championships have he won? 4.
But I think he chooses when to spend money and when not to.
But did he choose right this year not investing in the team?
I mean, you could say yes, but it's his fault that the team stinks because he didn't spend money in the first place.
So it's twofold.
So that's where my problem comes in with people like Einbein is you just are going to survive on 4 World Series forever. I just think that's lazy. I think that's being a bad fan.
That's like the Patriots relying on winning 6 championships.
It's like, yeah, that was great, but it's over. It's done. Don't live in the past.
I think I am giving John Henry credit. I
Boo.
just wonder if he has a better eye than we give him credit for.
Joe, his eyes are covered. He's blindfolded with this team. He's not watching.
Oh, I know. But, like, does he have smart people in charge that are like, don't invest?
See, I almost push back against that, too, because don't you think if you're involved, you want him to invest regardless?
Yeah, yes. No, guys, you're making too much sense. I'm just giving a take that might be completely wrong. like my take might suck.
I just think John Henry looks at it as an asset that makes him money. That's all it is. He's going to make money. Doesn't matter if he invests or not. The Red Sox make him money, and that's all he cares about.
Is there a certain way to do a toilet paper roll? You ever try to unwrap one? What's the right way to do it?
Unwrap one?
Yeah, you ever get one that isn't got the...
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant you're...
I rip a hole down the middle, and then whatever way it goes, it goes.
Yeah, I know people feel strongly about top down or letting the bottom hang.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Like the way you hang a toilet paper roll on the thing. Should the fold be over the top so you're pulling straight down, or should it be from underneath and you're just grabbing the bottom and pulling it that way? I don't feel strongly either way.
It's top down. Yeah, top down.
But it's never something I've cared or thought about in my life, but I've seen the internet have some hot takes on it. And to those people, I say, either get a hobby or your life is going so well that those are the things you're worried about.
What do you think John Henry does with his toilet paper?
Probably has someone do that for him, Joe. You make that much money.
All right, let's go to the headlines here. No, not the headlines. Sorry. Is there too much Bill Belichick? And it's halftime. Maybe we got to stoke up a bet. Let's see what we get. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98. Felger and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
All right, back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. All right, so the second half line right now has the Chiefs 0.5s, guys. So it's a 3-point game. Vegas is favoring the Chiefs to win by more than 3 in the second half. The game overall. So if you do like the Ravens at 3, you can get the hook here. You could lose by 3 and still win second half.
We have a little controversy, Joe, with this game.
What's up?
Apparently, at the end of the first half there, Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo called a timeout.
And they had no timeouts?
No, they gave him the timeout. Coordinators are not allowed to call timeouts. So the NBC rules analyst, Terry McCauley, I guess, got on the call with who's ever doing it, Tirico probably tonight, and said, that's a no-no. That was a mistake right there. So just... Everybody's
so the
a little
Ravens
sloppy
should have
tonight.
had the ball, right? Oh, there would have been 4 seconds. It would have moved up 15-yard penalty, right? Probably.
It was when it was second and goal with 9 seconds left. They rewarded the Chiefs with a timeout. It was second and goal, and it didn't look like they were ready to go. But they gave Spagnuolo a timeout.
Let's play it out. 4 seconds left. Oh, 9 seconds left, right?
9 seconds left. It just would have given.
They would put the ball on the goal line.
I don't know what the penalty is for that, but yeah, Terry McCauley said he can't do that. It has to be the head coach to come down. Nobody else can call a timeout on the sidelines beside the head coach. So everybody's a little sloppy tonight. Refs are a little tight.
Can I push back on? And listen, I've said this many times. This isn't the Felger and Maz postgame show. But, guys, we're college football fans. We watch it. Like, we see these kids. Hey, did you hear about this blue chip guy? Like, USC's quarterback. Dude's legit, right? Came right out of high school. Like, now we hear about these guys. And then they're blue. Arch Manning, right? How many years have we heard about him now? Wow, what a kick return. That was interesting. But anyways, if you don't like the under center and the shotgun, fine. But you know what I will give you? There aren't as many penalties, and the refs are much better in college. The refs are so much better in college. A holding penalty again. This guy Hockley, seriously. You're killing me, bro. Another penalty. Another penalty. They don't do this in college, Skaz. They're not this bad. I know they're kids and they make mistakes because they're kids in college.
Joe, should our guy who says that's another Patriots first down.
John Rook, where is he?
That's another Patriots offensive holding.
We should get Rook on some night. He's had so many interns in here. We might as well, right?
I see it. We got the Dean pipeline.
I know. Maybe we'll Providence basketball. We'll get a preview from him. This is a joke, and this is the only thing I'm saying about college and NFL. These penalties are ridiculous, and I blame the league because these guys get, 16 practices? How many times are they in pads? They play 3 games and anyone barely plays. The product sucks tonight. Let's be honest. This game stinks to high heaven.
Yeah, the pace is not great. Way too many flags.
And watch this tackle on the right end. I'm watching him. Watch him lean. Oh, he went under center. Did you see it? It was beautiful. He went under center and he got 3 yards. In college, they're well-oiled machines. They line up right. Yeah, they snap and all the shotgun and the clapping, but they don't go off sides. They don't false start. It's a cleaner game. The refs call it better. This is ticky-tack. This is guys that didn't practice, that are undisciplined. And the refs are all over it.
Do they call it better, or do they let them play more?
In college?
Yeah.
I think they call it down the middle, bro. I mean...
Isn't that just such a bad look for the NFL, though?
It helps my argument to say yes. Oh, my God. Who's the next fastest guy on the Chiefs after Worthy? Is it Rice?
Probably. I mean, maybe what do they have? Snead? He's probably pretty fast. Do they have Snead?
Jeez, what was that safety doing? Oh, my God. What? And Mahomes is firing, by the way, tonight. Like Mahomes looks like he... Is it his upper body strength that's stronger? Is it lower? I can't tell, but he's firing the football. And he always has. They call the timeout. This is the stuff that gets me, Skaz. You just got a big play on a first down to get past midfield.
L'Jarius Sneed is on the Titans, so he's not the Chiefs' second fastest player.
Oh, yeah, he's gone. Yeah. He was a restricted guy that got traded or whatever.
Good player.
Real good player. Made big plays in the Super Bowl. But this is what I mean by this is what's going on right now is exactly what I'm talking about. The Chiefs had to waste a timeout after a first down because nobody can get lined up right. It's annoying. It's really, and who does this pace favor? The Chiefs. It does. It really does. Because Mahomes can sit back there and run around and... It's been really tough to watch tonight. I've enjoyed it, though. It's back. Yay. Jeez. Mahomes is absolutely firing the football. What I mean by everything is pew, pew, pew. What a shooter. They just went double tight end and found the guy they just gave an extension to, 84. Wow. And to be honest with you, I thought the Ravens secondary and their safeties were one of the... Kyle Hamilton, I think, is one of the better safeties in the league. He's getting torched by Mahomes. We'll have more coming up in just a little bit. Another flag. This is ridiculous. Holding on the offense. Another flag. I'm literally doing a segment on how bad the officials and the penalties are. What happened? Who moved? What happened? Look clean. Oh, hold. Okay, I saw it. 75. Something happens, guys?
I was just wondering if we had talked about Steve Spagnuolo calling a timeout. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People tune in at the, Another flag, by the way.
What a shock.
Oh.
Looks like Kyle Van Noy slow to get up here.
Still going, huh?
He had 9 sacks last year, Joe.
Kyle Van Noy has always been a good player.
9 sacks.
He's just...
He's a role player. He's not a boogeyman.
He fills a good role. And he performs. Yeah, I would agree with you. Kyle Van Noy is a role player, but when he's in the right role, he's an elite player. I wouldn't call him an elite player. I just think when he's in the right situation, he can be elite. I think Jelani Tavai kind of was that guy last year. Tavai has become a nice little player, I got to admit. And it's actually on another flag! You got to be kidding me! Another flag! We're gonna watch the end of it. We're gonna be home, Skaz, watching the fourth personal foul. What? What happened here? Helmet to the head. Oh yeah, high-low too on him. Oof, not good. All right, final headline of the night, Skaz. Let's see how many flags there'll be during the headlines and commercial. Right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
I'm going to look up how many penalties there have been. But right now, Chiefs 13-10, they're driving. Derrick Henry, 8 for 33 tonight in a touchdown. I don't know if he's going to get any more carries. Mahomes, 11 of 17, 1 interception. Xavier Worthy, an end-around touchdown field goals. The rest of the Patriots, they'll play Sunday. Sidney Sal was on the injury report. He's not going to play. All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I don't know, did we get any flags? Did we even get a play during that commercial break? I don't even know.
Pacheco scored a touchdown.
Hit the bet, right?
Bang.
Bing, bang, ring the bell. Let's ring it. Pacheco TD, which is not going to help the Ravens bet, but you know what? It will at least light the lamp a little bit there for us. Someone's asking if we have a wrangle going on. For those who don't know what the wrangle is, it is a ref angle. Did you see Mahomes assist Pacheco on that touchdown?
Assist is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. He ran in at the very end. Get out of there, Patrick. What are you doing?
You know, tomorrow in KC, they're going to be like, what are the quarterback doing?
Yeah.
And we did it too. When times were great here.
No, Brady was smart enough not to do that.
Brady would turtle sometimes, which you know what? I respect. Excuse me.
Protect the franchise.
Well, Ravens down 10. Not good. How do they respond? Do they air it out a little bit?
No, they are not throwing the ball at all. They're throwing it behind the line of scrimmage every play.
God.
And it's ugly. And Todd Monken's supposed to be down the field, throw the ball.
I don't think Lamar Jackson has made a completion over 5 yards. Am I wrong? Or I'll look it up, actually.
He might have had one to likely.
I'll tell you this much, guys, though. They're still in it. Touchdown away from covering, my man. The Pacheco touchdown got a little lucky there on that one. I think the whistle should have blown before he got over the line. But whatever, I'll take the money. All right, play action fake. Reverse. That goes absolutely nowhere. What are they doing? Is Bill Belichick...
What do you do?
Is Bill Belichick doing too much? Is Bill Belichick doing too much? An article that you can read over at 985thesportshub.com. Earlier we had Bellicrest was the saying, as he is now the new Ryan Seacrest of the NFL. What could he do next? What could he possibly do next? Nice pass. What could he possibly do next? Like, do you think he'd be good at Jeopardy? What about, hey, listen, the Golden Bachelor ain't out of it yet. That could be fun, Skaz. Can we get 300 words out of what will Bill Belichick do next with odds? What's something? He wouldn't do American Idol, would he?
No.
Okay, so that's out.
Dancing with the Stars, Joe? You want to see Belichick cutting some rug?
They just, well, isn't Amendola doing it now?
Who knows? Probably.
No, Amendola's doing it. Yeah. Nice throw. Throw the tight ends. Keep throwing to the tight ends.
Mark Andrews, sneaky, only 27 years old. Feels like he's been around forever.
Got in a major accident, I believe, right?
Yeah.
In the offseason. What else could Belichick do? Survivor's your thing. You always love Survivor.
No, he's too old.
Could he do like Wicked Tuna?
Him and John Farrell going out on a tuna boat together?
Oh, that'd be cool. Do you think Charlie Moore will call him?
Now we're really reaching, Joe.
So, all right, let's think like global then. Global. Guy Fieri?
Enough. I don't want him to do anything else. He's already doing too much. Enough. Go coach football.
He didn't like my suggestions there, Skaz. But yes, Bill Belichick's living his best life right now, looking to rehabilitate his image. Even if he wants to coach in 2025 or just still wants to be around the game. As far as too much Belichick goes, the Patriots are projected to be at the bottom of the league this year. The constant reminder of what was with him on television, not to mention Brady calling games this season. It's going to be a bittersweet reminder of what once was for the New England Patriots, and that's why I ask, is it too much Bill? Is it the constant reminder? Is it the fact he's in your face too much? I'm just wondering what he's going to do next. He's already hooked his friends up with jobs. He's helping out other people. We got a big third down here for the Ravens at midfield. This one's pretty important. Please don't throw a flag. Let's talk to Colin. He's in Westfield. Hey, Colin.
Mr. Murray, we have a good news and ignition here on this game. Even though it's just an opener, the fact that Kansas City has barely got the lead is a testament to the fact that Lamar's first half average pass yards just over a yard. The three new guys on the right, they're just not protecting them. And remember, Joe, I think you said it. Derrick Henry's used to running off center. Obviously, Lamar's running with the shotgun. And Lamar's got all the running yards. You know, it's still in the game. For a team that wants to three-peat at home, Baltimore, under these conditions and circumstances, is not playing together on the front line. They're holding it down and doing good. I was really surprised that Kansas City's not running away with it. What's this say, you know?
I think Spagnuolo's got a really good game plan against Lamar Jackson, and quite frankly, I don't know if the line is doing enough to help Lamar tonight. I'm going to blame it on the line.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of that. I also think their game plan hasn't been good. Just from a coaching perspective, they're not attacking the Chiefs.
Do you think the Patriots are going to look like this?
Yeah, probably, Joe.
Like, Brissett can move. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, but...
He's statuesque at times, but yeah, he can move when needed.
I'll tell you this much. If the Pats played this Chiefs defense, the receivers wouldn't be able to get off the line. Like, I think Henry could, you know? Could Stevenson do something? This would be like a throw it to Demario Douglas and see what he can do. Or like, you know, a pitch to Gibson or something. But if the Ravens are going to struggle against this, what's the rest of the league going to do? That's why I think you got to air it out. The Ravens, though, I just don't think can. It's not a Lamar Jackson thing. I just don't think it. Between the line and it's a lot going on there. I give the Chiefs credit here and Spagnuolo and that defense. Yeah, they move on from their best players defensively. They should have 2 picks, by the way. The Chiefs. They dropped one that was going for a touchdown. But Kansas City, though, I got to tell you, they've gotten away. Whoever the right tackle is for KC, and I think it's Suamatia, they are just, that lean is so real, dude. Like that false start on 74, they just won't call it. They won't. That guy leans every single play. I've watched it 5 times in a row now. I wonder if the league wants a 3-peats, guys. Is it good for the league?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, let's wrap this bad boy up. We'll tell you what's going on. It's 4th and Friday tomorrow, and we got football here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
All right, final segment here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. 3:50 to go in the third quarter right now. Chiefs have a 20-10 lead. It's 3rd and 5. Let's see what they have. Baltimore's hanging around. It doesn't look great, but I've watched a lot of football games in my time, and hey, the spread is 3. And who knows? Maybe they go cover 2 late in the half or late in the third quarter. We'll see what happens here. But Kansas City has a big chance to go up at least 2 scores. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow is our first 4th and Friday of the year. Not sure. Wow, big drop. Not sure who we're gonna have. We're gonna have John Serenides on from New England Football Journal. Everyone knows John on the night show. John's a high school football coach, but his team covers all the college games locally, and he's credentialed for the Patriots, so they have guys down at camp. So I like to have John on because we can talk everything. A little college, see what's going on in the high school level, and then, of course, get his thoughts on the Patriots. John's very good at breaking down offensive line play and other things. So we'll have him on tomorrow. I'm not sure who else we have. We'll see.
Joe, will we have the return of Joe Me the Money?
Oh, yeah. So right now we're 1-0. Oh, what a punt. Great punt. I know, I'm giving live play-by-play here.
Be doing a lot of that on Sunday, maybe. Oh, look at that punt.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, he was at, wait, can you do that? Is that legal?
I think it's legal.
I'm doing, here I am, nobody can see it on the radio, but I believe he stepped inbounds, out of bounds. I don't know, the refs, the story of tonight's game, it's not the Ravens, it's not the Chiefs, it's the officiating. It's absolutely been horrible. Now, it's easy for me to blame the officials, right? When the players are screwing up. They are not calling the false start in the Chiefs. There's at least 5 of them they haven't called. It's been terrible. And I just want to make everyone aware that this is what happens when you change the rules. They have 19 full practices, and I think 6 of them are padded. They get multiple days off. They barely play any preseason games. They changed the kickoff rules. None of the offensive linemen are ready to go. Some guys, this is the first time they've really played all year long. It's been absolutely messy. It's been terrible. And there's been flags almost every other play. And I think if we really looked into it, I think it's probably 1 out of 4. 1 out of every 4 plays, there's been a penalty tonight. A big play, penalty. It's been horrible. I blame the league for it. I'd love to blame the officials. I wish I could say the players should be better than that. They're just not ready to go. I wonder what it's going to look like for the Patriots on Sunday. With a new coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new special teams rules. What's it going to look like on Sunday? Woof. Tomorrow night, we're going to do our bold predictions for the Patriots. We got that for you. And we got another NFL game tomorrow in Brazil. So it should be a good one. So thanks for everybody tuning in, hanging out tonight in our chat as well.